life. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm pretty much content with just rhyming all day.
Or digital can instantly share pictures.
I can start. Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show. Later, you know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. Let's turn out we do. Hey. They said we said we lit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blitz. Cut you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make you bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we said we lit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said go.
Ladies and gentlemen, specifically Vincent Vega, welcome in. I'm Loke 7. And joining me as always is Mr. Ty Talks on everything plus gaming on this fine Tuesday afternoon. Ty, how are you and what have you been playing recently?
What's good, everyone? As per usual, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I didn't actually get a chance to play last night because I was busy just doing some other things, watching some TV shows. I started trying to watch Severance as well.
You're not a real gamer. Busy watching TV. You're not a real gamer.
Man, I seem to talk more about games these days than anything else, to be honest.
My bad. That's my bad.
Which makes me a bit of a fraud, but in the gaming industry is good. It's good to me. What have you been playing?
I fell down the Football Manager rabbit hole again today, but tomorrow I'm definitely going to get into more of Kazan if I have some time after going to the doctors. So I injured myself. I injured my shoulder this morning, and yeah, gonna have to get that looked at tomorrow. If I have time, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Hey, welcome in, Nate. Jacob says, hi, panel and chat. A few days ago, Amazon Luna came to Sweden, and as I've been waiting, so bought the controller today, 7 days trial, $10 a month. All right. Give us your review after. I'm curious. Ty, have you tried Amazon Luna?
No, I haven't. It's the only one I actually haven't tried. Google and obviously GeForce. I haven't tried Boosteroid either. But I've heard good things about Amazon Luna, and I've heard they keep expanding, which is quite surprising because when Google bowed out, there was this feeling that Amazon might be the next one to go. But it seems like what they're doing is they probably do believe cloud is going to be something big. So their plan is to wait it out. Yeah, eventually, so they're just gonna keep it there, and then maybe in 9 or 10 years' time, then
when it pops,
exactly.
When it pops, you don't have to fight for positioning.
Mm-hmm.
You're already a player. That makes sense. It does make sense.
Yeah, and
if you can afford it.
Yeah, if you can afford it, for sure. I mean, yeah, Amazon. So
it's not PlayStation.
And to Jacob, from what I understand, I think Ubisoft Plus is linked with Luna as well. So if you have Ubisoft Plus, I think you can stream your games via Luna for free.
All right. Yeah, Vince, I did not relax my shoulders. I should have followed the instruction. Try to relax your shoulders. Your shoulders. Anyways, let's... Oh, sorry. Oshus is in here. Oshus, welcome. How are you and what have you been playing? My good sir. You need to unmute your mic, Oshus.
Yeah, man. Like, sorry, I'm just trying to set up my picture here. Yeah,
Mhm.
dude. Like, not much since yesterday. I actually just popped into Cyberpunk. Um, just trying to finish that whole Phantom Liberty storyline. But
You
besides that,
popped
yeah.
in, did you?
Mm, I actually
Okay.
almost. That's why I'm actually late today, is because I
You couldn't pop
actually.
out. You're struggling to
Yeah,
pop out.
yeah. Well, actually, I lost track of time while I was doing the casino mission, but yeah, I'm
Oh
enjoying it.
man,
I'm enjoying it.
what a game! Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Cyberpunk is special. Cyberpunk
agreed.
is it's really something else. So is this your first time like that you're playing it, or you're beating it for the second or third time?
What, Phantom Liberty or Cyberpunk?
Both. Let's go with both.
Jeez, no, like I've finished Cyberpunk several times. I think 5 to 7 times that I've played the game and finished the story. But this is the
Okay.
first time I'm actually trying to finish Phantom Liberty.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
Gotcha.
Do you
I've
not
Excellent.
seen
do you not play these games with mods?
no, not yet. Well, this is the first time I'm actually playing it on PC, so I'm probably gonna try mods once I've finished the current story, the DLC story for Phantom Liberty.
Hmm.
Then I want to see what the mods can do, because it does, like, the launcher luckily has like all that sorted. You can choose mods and all that thing, so it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
let me get this picture sorted.
Tai, this
What's up?
is this is like a chance for you to prove that you're an actual gamer. Have you beaten Cyberpunk yourself?
Yes, I have.
Okay then. All right.
Pretty good
Yeah,
game.
I
Um,
was pretty good, sir. I'm gonna give you
the
another chance to correct yourself.
the issue with Cyberpunk is this. I think it was overhyped, and I think
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
and I
definitely.
think where CD Projekt Red, let me say failed. Maybe failed is a strong word, but what they failed was they didn't revolutionize the genre in the same way Starfield didn't. Now the execution is far superior to Starfield's, but they didn't revolutionize anything. The combat is good. It's okay. It's not like crazy
No, the
special.
combat is
Yeah.
exceptional. Come on, dude.
No, what? Well, I mean, like,
No, no.
what about the combat is so like it was expected to me. I didn't think it was gonna be. I don't play the combat. I think this is the best combat ever, but that's fine. Like, I'm not playing the games for combat, right? I think where they knocked out of the park was the story, the animations, the side stories, the way they make you feel for these characters is it's great. Johnny Silverhand, all these things that they do so well. The problem is the world itself. The world itself is just dead.
What
It's
are
a whole
you
charade.
talking about?
The world is a charade.
Okay. You're
Ty, when
bringing out
last?
all the roaches. You're bringing all the roaches, Tai. Vince says Cyberpunk is pretty mid, in my opinion. Such a letdown. Never finished it. Not a real gamer, I guess. Vince, come on, Vince. What are you
Cyberpunk,
talking
it's an
about?
RPG, but like auto. Here's what I think. Maybe CD Projekt Red wanted. They wanted to make their version of GTA, and their version of GTA, in comparison to GTA, sucks.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the. What? Oh, fuck. You dude, we're not even 10 minutes in and you're triggering me. We're not even 10 minutes in. What in the blue hell are you talking about, Tai?
The game's world is a charade.
GTA is only better than Cyberpunk in terms of, oh, here's an online version of the game. But that campaign, shut the hell up. You are out of your mind. Oshus, come, Fuzzy gets it. Best combat for an RPG shooter by a long shot.
Fair enough.
Also, wow, really? Fuzzy says that Cyberpunk is the only game that they've beaten, like 100%ed. That's wild. That's wild.
Hmm.
Oshus, am I crazy? Am I crazy right now?
I was gonna ask Ty, like, so when is the last time you played the game?
And when it came out,
That's the problem. And he's not lying about when it came out. Like a lot of the world
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
to
When
see
it
it.
came out, no
Like
doubt.
by the time where we are now, we're on like version 2.21,
That's
which
not even
is
the same game, dude.
it's a completely different game. It's a completely different. If you start the game now, and that's the cool thing about Cyberpunk that they also get right. If you start the game now, you'll have a completely different experience to if you started the game back in 2022,
You know what, Ty? I'm not
2021.
triggered anymore. I'm not triggered anymore. I
But
think it
no,
was
like,
listen. Oh no,
2020.
I understand where
I
you
think
guys
it
are
was
coming from.
2020,
Like,
Oshus. I think it
yeah,
was
no,
2020,
December 2020.
yes, you're right, 2020.
I
So
understand where you guys are
that's
coming from. I think
it took, yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it took about 2 to 3 years for them to actually finish the game,
Give
because
us
I
the
do,
game.
yeah, because I believe that the original. That's why you didn't play it most local launches, because what
Yeah, I
what
was
was
triggered. You know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into how much I hated that game right at the beginning for the first few years. Finish your point, Oshus.
yeah, no, that was exactly what I wanted to say. That was my point. Is that like the game, unlike, and this is why I say I agree with Ty when he says that like GTA was is like, and that's the cool thing about Rockstar is that when they launch a product, it's always finished. You're not getting a half-assed product. You're getting the best possible product that the market can produce at that time. And the problem with a studio like CD Projekt Red, I think they bought a lot of their own bullshit and they started to think they were that good after their second hit game.
They
Takes you a
started
couple of,
sniffing their farts.
yeah, like it takes a couple of hit games for you to sort of get the formula down. And I agree with you guys when you say they overhyped the game. There was no need for them to hype the game up that much. They just put an unnecessary pressure on themselves. And there's also this like, I don't know how far in. Can I say derided or pole jockeying? There's a lot of pole jockeying from the community for certain devs. Like everyone is happy to shit on Electronic Arts and Ubisoft, but the way that people were, those chairs, bro, those yellow chairs and those helmets and
Oh
all
my
that,
god! Stop it!
the way
Stop
people
it
that
with the
were
chairs.
jockeying that game, to me, is another reason that I feel that CD Projekt got themselves in that position. They really bought their own BS for the longest time. And everyone was telling them how great they were. No one was asking questions about actual condition of the game on PS4 and Xbox One. So it was the perfect storm of BS. But where I give them credit is they managed to save that experience, where an EA or a Microsoft would have abandoned that game.
I think I think the difference here is CD Projekt Red were forced to save that game because I mean they were sued, right? Not only that, they only have two games under their belt, and that's The Witcher and Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was supposed to be their next franchise, so if that dies, and if they don't fix that, then consumer confidence drops. So when you're gonna make with The Witcher 4, no one's gonna believe you, no one's gonna trust you. So
Yeah,
you
but
have to fix
motivation,
Cyberpunk.
motivation doesn't really matter, if we're being honest. If someone
True.
came and explained to me exactly, like specifically, oh yeah, this is why EA gives you the exact same FIFA game every single year. It's not going to make me go like, oh, poor EA, I feel so bad for them. Let me go out and
Yeah.
buy all their games. And if someone comes out and tells me, oh, there's this very nefarious reason of why all these From Software games are always bangers. They always come out with like proper optimization and it works and the game is awesome. The story is well written. It's because they really want to, like drug you guys mentally and they want to keep you playing a game. Like, I don't give a fuck. Is it good? I'm in. So I don't think that specific alley, there's no
Mhm.
need for us to go down that one. Around Slasher says Rockstar released Manhunt 2 on the Wii, and it had lots of bugs. Ty, correct me if I'm wrong. The Wii was not a well-received console.
By the hardcore, no, but by everybody else, which is the majority market, it was loved.
Yeah,
What
and
is that?
Manhunt, Ron Slasher, the Wii, Nintendo Wii.
Oh,
Manhunt, if I'm not mistaken, the Manhunt franchise, definitely not for the plebs. Definitely not for the casuals. So you know what, Ty? I retract my initial tirade. I apologize. I did not know that you still hadn't played the finished version of
But
Cyberpunk.
but listen, even at that, right? When GTA came out, I think that's like there's no one should really compare themselves to GTA, but you try to achieve that. When GTA
Yeah.
came out and Red Dead came out, they feel like living worlds. In GTA, you can play like tennis, poker, snooker, Red Dead Redemption 2. Everyone who's walking around, they feel alive. You can play like you can do go fishing, blackjack, poker. It feels like the world is saying you can do things here, right? Whereas when I play Cyberpunk, I can only go from A to B to C to D. Then I
So
look at the
again,
characters, right? I look
Ty,
at the
it's the
characters
same
like
thing. The response is the same, Ty. Go and play Cyberpunk now.
can you do mini games in that?
Finish, finish. Yeah, there's many activities in the game. Finish
Okay, that's
Cyberpunk.
cool then. Yeah.
Finish
Yeah, that's
Cyberpunk. Get back to us. We're gonna have the
I'll
conversation.
say I'll say to you that the world is as lively as say The Witcher 3 at the moment. And again, the one thing that you just need to be careful of is that when you compare the two, you need to realize that first of all, GTA is very narratively linear. Like Cyberpunk,
Shallow. Say the word.
it, it is very
Cautious.
shallow. Gameplay wise, it still plays like a game from 2012. You have the mission, you complete the mission and the objective. If you die within the mission, you get a checkpoint. That gameplay is literally 2012 is being generous. That's how the original GTA's going back as far as San Andreas played, which was
Yeah.
way before that. So the gameplay is very limited in that sense. Yes, the world is open, but it's limited in terms of the things you can do to progress the story. Whereas with Cyberpunk, the world is your oyster in terms of like how you approach the gameplay, in terms of the amount of different endings, different sort of story points or story objectives you can pursue, and how
And
you
it's not like
accomplish
Mike.
those.
It's not like Mass Effect where it was like, oh, here's one key
Yeah,
moment, and this is going to change the game. My guy, it's different branches upon branches upon branches.
yeah, and you don't have
I,
even you don't
I,
even have a skill tree. Sorry, look, you don't even have a skill tree per se. Like the last GTA game that had some sort of leveling skill tree
San Andreas.
was San Andreas, where you could actually change and affect how
Fuck, I
your
love that
character
game.
looks.
I love
How
San
if they
Andreas.
eat something, it sort of it affects what they look like, etc. So a lot of those that had to dial them back because you can't do everything. You can't have a dynamic world. Well, maybe now with AI, but you couldn't have a dynamic world with all those options and still have gameplay that is open ended. I mean, GTA has worse gameplay in terms of like being open ended than let's say an Assassin's Creed game. An Assassin's Creed game offers you way more options than you can ever get in a GTA game. So when you make those
Oh
comparisons,
man.
just be cognizant of that fact that it's not exactly the most progressive game in terms of gameplay.
Now you're making me mad, Oshis. You're making me agree with you that Assassin's Creed is better than something else. It's not fun for me.
You're welcome.
Fuzzy says the Wii is probably my most played console of all time. Interesting little segue. Tai, what's the console you think you play the most time? You put the most time into?
definitely has to be Xbox 360.
Really?
PS3, Xbox 360. Yeah, those guys.
No, no, no. It has to be one, bruh.
That's a tricky one because I was a 360. Let me see. It's probably I'll say probably 360. Yeah, because that was like the Call of
360.
Duty start, right? Call of Duty was big. I started going online. That just changed everything. So, prior to that, like I would have to buy games, every now and then, and it was like maybe like your Zeldas, your Mario's. And once I finished them, I finished them. And even playing games with like my friends, like Mortal Kombat, Smash Bros. They would have to be in my house. But as soon as online was available, oof, like it was gaming every single day. Come back from school, game straight away.
Was on like Donkey Kong. All right, all right. Oshus, what's the game that you? Oh, okay. Vince's Game Boy. All right, all right. Oshus, what's the console that you have spent the most amount of time playing in your entire life as a gamer? Oshus, you're muted. You muted yourself, Oshus.
Yo,
You have to unmute yourself. All right, there you go. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry. So I was saying, I'm on the same page as Vince. It's probably Game Boy. If I think carefully in terms of like, because I gamed less and less the older I grew, so most games. Like, and back then you had one cartridge and you'd play it for tens of hours. So I'd say Game Boy, between Game Boy and Game Boy Color. That is probably my most played if I think about from a childhood perspective. Recently, it's probably Xbox One. If I have to think as an adult, as a young man, it was Game Boy. As an adult, it was probably Xbox One.
Total is
Ironically,
Game Boy.
total
Total
is
is
Game
Game
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah, Game Boy. I because again, Game Boy Pocket and Game Boy Color were the old Game Boy, and Game Boy Color played the same games. So a lot of the games that I had on the original Game Boy, I just bought a Game
Yeah.
Boy Color, or my mom got me a Game Boy Color, and I could just play them there. And dude, like I always say that the amount of hours I spent on Pokemon, I could have been a doctor right now, a practicing doctor.
You've been wait. You used to play Pokemon.
Yeah, all the way from the original Pokemon to what Red and Blue, to Pokemon Gold, what is it, Silver and Gold, and then I think the last one I played was like something like Sapphire. But dude, that was life, dude. Like I spent tens of hours when I was in high school playing Pokemon, tens of hours every day. I didn't sleep. I maybe got like
That's
3 hours sleep just playing Pokemon, trying to be the very best. Fucking Nintendo.
that's crazy, man. I
Yeah,
never would have pictured you as someone that spent hours playing Pokemon.
tens
So
of hours, bro. Hundreds.
hundred thousands of
Yeah. Well,
hours
I'll say this: like tens of hours a day.
a day.
Yeah, dude. We used to play
Jeez.
Pokemon on the playground. Dude, we had all the like break times were only Pokemon. We all had like Game Boys, and we would
Yeah.
play the Pokemon trading card game. And if we're not playing the Pokemon trading card game, then we're playing Pokemon like the different versions where we can use like the link cable to battle each other, swap Pokemon and do all that stuff. So like it was a lifestyle. It's like how we lived back. I think, well, what can I compare it to? I suppose it's the same way kids today play
Play
Roblox
Fortnite.
or Fortnite, yeah.
Jeez. All right. Tai, Oshus was very specific with the game. I'm curious to hear yours, but let's go to the comments first. Jacob says my PS5 shows that I have 1,000+ hours in Fortnite for PS4. Yeah, must be the PS4, Jacob. Must be the PS4. Fuzzy, I've just played an absurd amount of Smash Bros. And Mario Baseball at my buddy's house for years. I didn't even own a Wii. Lol. All right, so I'm guessing Wii is the console for Fuzzy. Ty, you said the console. What was the console and game again?
You know what? So I said it was a 360, and that may
And
still
what
be
game?
true, but now I think I might need to take a step back because
Ooh.
um, I played a lot of the GameCube as well with my friend, but
Hmm.
not as I won't say that one because when the Wii U came out, we actually because I was living we were living together, and when I got Smash Bros, he's quite competitive. And that became our game of choice. Like every single time it was Smash Bros, Smash Bros, Smash Bros. So I don't know if it's actually between Smash Bros Wii U or Smash Bros Ultimate in terms of which game I've played, but it's definitely a Smash Bros game. In terms of just console overall, it
Hmm.
was I'll probably still say it was a 360 because Call of
The
Duty,
360.
Battlefield, Assassin's Creed came out as well. Like it was just a lot of games that were kind of changing the way I saw video games. And Mass Effect as well as another one. So yeah, that was probably where my gaming really like shut up.
All right. For me, the console, obviously, right? Go ahead and call me the pony. I don't care. It's the PlayStation 2. And the game, this one is going to be very surprising.
It is because I'm
Very
thinking Football Manager.
surprising. Football Manager was not on the PS2, not to my knowledge at least. It wasn't Football Manager. Oshis, you wanna guess which game it was?
Mm, hmm. Can you give a hint, like the genre at least?
Ah, dude, if I give you the genre, then you'll know exactly what the fuck
Yeah, that's
what
the
game it
thing.
is.
Because it's very different. Like PlayStation had a huge library. That's the thing. Like,
Especially
um,
PS2.
like I would need to know like which genre that would give me.
Okay,
That's
I'll give you the
interesting.
genre, which essentially gives you the game.
Yeah.
It's a racing game.
Oh, Gran Turismo.
Oh no, it wasn't. Gran Turismo was kind of shallow for
Dirt.
me. No, it wasn't.
Colin McRae
Vince
rally.
says, yes, yes, yes. Colin McRae Rally.
Such a niche game though, for a racing game.
Dude, it's such a weird thing, but it just calls to me. Like rally games, fuck. Dude, when I was young enough, when I was young enough to turn nights into days from video games. Yes. Oh my god, Vince! Talker Racing. Oh,
Yeah,
dude, World Championship Racing. Oh my god, how many hours I put into that? Yes, this guy gets it. Tucker was the shit.
that
That was the
eventually
shit back then.
became, what is it now? Because Codemaster still makes the
The
a
what?
series. Like they still do like what is
They
this
used to
new
do the
game?
rallies, but now EA is doing rally.
Mm. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Toka became Toka Championship, and then eventually evolved to this. What is this new thing of theirs? Let me just check my library quickly because I have
All right.
I bought it recently.
Oh my
Let me-
god, Sapo says Destruction All Stars. Stop it. Stop it, Sapo. No, it was not Destruction All Stars. But yeah, the game that I spent like unfathomable amounts of hours was Colin McRae Rally on the PS2. That shit, like, that was that was peak, man. Like San Andreas came out, we had fun with it, and then I went back to Rally. MGS2 came out, we had fun with it for a couple of months. Then I went back to Rally. MGS3 came out, we had fun with it, and then I went right back to Rally.
So that series
On
eventually eventually evolved into what they call Grid now, Grid Legends and all that.
ah,
Yeah.
Grid is
So,
alright. It's alright. It's
but
not
like
it's not awesome, but it's alright.
so the whole sort of concept of like what Grid is now is
Yeah,
based on Toka. I think it was Championship 2 or Championship 3, where they started
yeah,
to do like that story like driven,
mm-hmm,
racing thing. And no one was doing
yeah.
that back then in the day. Like no one was doing a story driven racing game except for maybe Need for Speed, which was different because that was underground racing. It wasn't professional racing.
Dude, now you just reminded me of how many games I still need to buy on Steam. Jesus, I don't have Need for Speed on Steam. Raichi says Destruction All Star is the best launch title. All right. That was a nice little visit down memory lane, guys. I think that was fun, right? That was
Uh-huh.
fun. Y'all had a good one. I wish they got their heads out of their asses and made another bloody. Oh, Ty Oshus, have you guys ever heard of Bloody Raw?
Yes. Amazing
Oh
concept.
yeah,
Fudge,
they
bro.
did like a lot of them. They
I'm
did
getting
like
a
I think
hard
the
on
last
just
one.
thinking about it.
The last
Go
one,
ahead.
well, like the last one wasn't great though. Like the last one I think was on Dreamcast. It was Bloody Roar 3, no? I think it released on PlayStation and
No,
Dreamcast.
I think we only got two. I don't think it got to
Um,
three. Did they?
Pretty
Did they make a
sure.
three?
Yeah, I think there's yeah, pretty sure. Bloody Roar 3 Dreamcast, yeah, I remember.
Oh
PlayStation 2.
fuck!
Was it not
Yeah,
game?
they did make a three.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, it was PlayStation 2 and arcade and Xbox, the original Xbox. Okay, so I was off with the Dreamcast, but
All right. Is it on Steam? Is Bloody Roar on Steam
I
in any
doubt it.
capacity?
I
I'm
doubt
checking
it.
the Steam store right the fuck now.
I doubt it. It's pretty old.
Bloody Roar,
Well, it wasn't even on PC. That's the problem. Like, I don't think it was on PC. Yeah, no, it was never on PC. It was a console game.
man, it's
So you'd need
lost.
to. Well, you can emulate.
Emulate it. I'd
Yeah,
need to emulate it.
but the
This
third one
type of
wasn't
stuff.
great. It wasn't
thi-
amazing. Like the second one was the best.
yeah, two was fucking. Oh my god,
That was a
two
PS1
was.
game, bro.
Yeah, Bloody Raw. Thank you, Sapo. Bloody Raw was crazy. That was some good stuff. That was some really good stuff.
But it
Welcome
wasn't.
in,
It
Mr.
wasn't
Vic.
really a banger back in the day, though, in terms of like
I
ratings.
li- listen. Back in the day, I didn't care anything about ratings. and I tried to do my best even today to not really care much about ratings. Um, the first Berserker Kazan just came out. It it got like okay ratings. I think IGN gave it an 8. A lot of people are giving it like 8, 7s. Not exactly game of the year. I'm having a blast with it, and I'm probably gonna be playing it for the next 2 to 3 months. So this whole thing about ratings, especially when talking about stuff like nostalgia, where something that you loved and enjoyed, dude. Oshis, do you think Colin McRae sold a whole lot of copies?
It did. I mean, that's what kept Codemasters in business for a long time. It did very well on PS1. Those games were popular in Europe, dude. Like racing was I think racing has become smaller over time. It was a huge genre back
Just
then,
like fighting games.
just like fighting games. Don't
I don't
forget
think.
that those. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say those genres were the equivalent back in those days of what we call like the GTAs today. Those were the most popular genres at that time. Racing was huge, fighting was huge. They were bigger than things like RPGs, unless they were in Japan or whatever. But like that has changed. Like people have sort of moved on from those genres. They're like supporting genres now. They're not really the main genre you buy a console for, or you buy a new rig, or you upgrade your rig for anymore.
Yeah, I guess. Ty, anything you want to add on the niche nature of games or genres that used to be bangers back in the day?
I think the thing with Bloody Raw for me was it wasn't gameplay that necessarily won me over. It was that just idea of transforming into an animal. So I think that was what like sold it for me. And maybe as I grew, I wanted more from
Hmm.
the gameplay, and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat gave me that. So maybe it just couldn't really transition into something more than its concept.
I think it had so much potential, man. So
It did.
much potential. But but like you said, they didn't continue to iterate and improve like your Tekken and Street Fighter.
I
Uh,
remember playing Dead or Alive. Damn, that was a game.
oh, yeah, yeah. I think everyone remembers the first time they played Dead or Alive. Everyone
And the
remembers how old
spin
how
to
old
like
they were.
the volleyball version as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that was released on Xbox.
yeah. We all remember the first time we played Dead or Alive. We
I've actually
remember
sent you guys
how old we were, where we
a
lived,
Bloody
everything.
Raw clip that I just found.
You found a bloody raw clip.
Yeah, I sent it you on
All
Twitter.
right, all right.
I
So,
wouldn't
so
recommend you play it though.
all right. Fuzzy says Forza Horizon 5 has had over 40 million players. Racing is still a bigger genre. So
No.
okay. Oshus, you wanna go first? Go ahead.
So Forza is like the second
Forza,
coming of
Forza, you can
Forza.
do it.
Forza is like the second coming of racing games, though. Like, don't forget, like there was a huge slump in terms of the popularity. Forza, specifically the Horizon games, sort of brought that back because people were bored of like sim racing. The mainline Forza games are not as popular as what you get now with
With
Playgrounds
Horizon.
offering with Horizon. I
Mm.
think Horizon really rejuvenated the genre in that way. And I still, if I look at the competition, a lot of games are failing, man. Like what's the closest game? I think it's probably Gran Turismo in terms of popularity out of racing games. Like games like Need for Speed have fallen off that series.
No, Need for Speed did well. I
Well,
remember
but it's
I
fallen off
remember
now.
the last Need for Speed, the last one that came out, Unbound. It did well. We actually discussed it on
Mm,
TSWS. They had good sales. They even came out and did the EA thing that they did with what's it called, Vanguard.
yeah,
But no one got fired 6 months later.
yeah, but it was like it's not. You can't compare it. Like for instance, if you talk about Forza 5, it's probably the best-selling Forza game in the history of the series.
Probably, yeah.
Unbound is probably number 20 or is in the top 20 because this is a series that goes back to like 93. I don't even think it makes the top 15 in terms of best selling Need for Speed games in terms of how popular that
Yeah,
series was.
but Need for Speed. Hold on, it's levels, bro. Need for Speed, Unbound. I think it sold more than 10 million copies. I think
I
the
don't
sales
know.
the set or all right. Let's Google it. Let's Google it.
Uh,
Let's do this.
Is Unbound the most recent one?
Yes.
Nah,
Is
I
it?
didn't do that
No.
well then.
Here you go. NFS Unbound sales reached 14 million within first month on Steam. Just Steam. Sold close to 200,000 copies during its initial month of release on Steam. The latest entry in renowned franchise has set new records for series. Come on, fellas.
No,
Do you want
it's
me to put this up on the screen?
$14 million is
And
different from 14 million in sales, as in like 14 million copies.
well, are we ignoring the latest entry in the renowned franchise has set new records for the series? We're just going to ignore
On
that.
Steam, probably.
Oh, that's a problem.
No, it's not a problem. I'm just saying that like it's not that big. It's not
I'm saying,
Forza 5. It's not
all
even
right, what
close.
I'm saying is we don't know how many it sold total. We know it made 14 million on Steam in a month. It broke all the records of the previous Need for Speed games, and no one got fired from the
Damn.
studio. Ushers, again, this is about me being or asking everyone to be consistent with their philosophies. If we're going to shit on and
Yeah.
assume that Vanguard did not do well because of and using the fact that they had to downsize the team big time after
Yeah.
the release of the game, we should be able to do the opposite. No one got fired, and they were
Well,
celebrating
again,
sales and talking about breaking records.
this is 14,000 players at peak, bro. I mean, like
Oh my God! Look at Vince.
Veilguard did like
Ah,
three times that. Veilguard did like peaked at almost like 86
and
thousand. This the only reason that this game was negligible
Ushers.
is because it probably didn't cost
So
much
if
to
a
make.
game, if a game doesn't peak at 1 million players on Steam, it failed.
No, I'm saying that like Veilguard probably did better than this game. It
And
just
and
cost more to
yet
make.
and yet we're still cutting people off
Yeah, because
from the developer.
yes, and I'll tell you why. Because of the fact that there was almost no developers to fire, because most of the Need for Speed original stuff have been like from Black Box to all these other devs. They've either been moved, merged into other teams. Some of them were let go long time ago. So there was literally
Where
nothing waiting
where
to
where
play.
was where were these announcements? Because I
I
didn't
can give
see
you the trade.
or
Like
even
I've been
discuss
following.
any.
Well, this is
All
not.
right then. All
But this
right then.
didn't. No.
While I present the Xbox thing, right? There's
Yeah.
this Nvidia thing. Please feel free to send me at least 5 credible sources talking about cuts after Need for Speed came out. I'll
No, no. But
wait.
like, which Need for Speed? By the time
Unbound.
Unbound,
We're
no.
talking
But you're not.
about Unbound.
But you're not following what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is that by the time Unbound was released, they were literally just support studios making this game. Most of the studios, like Black Box, that used to make the main game, had already been shut down, closed, or merged with other companies.
Once more, sir, you are making claims. Send us the receipts.
Okay, easy. Like
All
that's the
right.
easiest
Very
thing to.
easy. Welcome in. Jacob says, like the meme, what's this? Like the meme goes, he lived, he loved, he died, but this version goes, he lived, he scammed, oh my goodness. Sapo says, don't forget racing is a niche category now, just like fighting games. I hate it. I hate the fact that racing is now a niche category. Anyways, let's get into the main topic for today, which is on the screen, as y'all can see. Asus seemingly teases that its Xbox branded handheld may be announced soon. So I'm gonna leave the video up. I'm reading from VGC right now. A teaser video posted by the ROG Ally manufacturer on Monday shows the company's virtual AI pet Omni applying new upgrades to himself. Marathon stamina, more capacity, faster speeds, and fresh look. As he enters a large booth to get the upgrades applied, an Asus ROG Ally handheld and a Republic of Gamers branded Reikiri controller, which works on both PC and Xbox, also fall into the booth with him. The implication then is that the upgrades will be applied to the handheld, suggesting improved battery life, increased storage, improved processing power, and a hardware redesign compared to the ROG Ally. This would all apply to, this would all appear to relate purely to Asus hardware, but a pair of posts and X imply that this new handheld being teased is the previously reported Project Canaan and Keenan, an Asus developed handheld which can play PC and Xbox games. Asus post promoted what's this? Asus's post promoting the video reads, "Our little robot friend is cooking something up," but is then accompanied by the hashtags "Play all your games" and "Next level gaming." What's more, the official Xbox account then replied to the post with a meme of a monkey looking suspiciously around as spotted by Eurogamer, suggesting it may have some involvement in the announcement. Ty, is it time? Is it now? Is Xbox finally doing the thing?
Xbox is in a very they're in an interesting position because we're so connected to the internet and all these little stories that they'll never be really like we're always gonna know all these little small details. But everything is building up into something I think really unique and special. The idea of an ecosystem, the PC handheld, Xbox, being a PC as well, cloud gaming, every Game Pass. I think they're the most exciting thing in the industry. Now, in relation to this handheld, what I find very
Wait, did you
interesting,
say Xbox are the most exciting thing in the industry?
yes,
Oh my god.
most exciting.
I'm gonna leave you for Ashes, bro. I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave you for Ashes
if you
right
want to
now.
if you want to say gaming wise they're not. I mean, well, that's different. I'm talking about Xbox, like in terms of the company as to what they're doing. They are certainly the most exciting thing. It's definitely not PlayStation and it's definitely not Nintendo, so it has to be Xbox. And now in terms of this hardware revealed. I think one of the Xbox guys, maybe Gamescom era, whatever the channel is called, they have a picture of it. Now they didn't show it, but they've kind of said it's gonna look like the roguelite a little bit, except I think the patterns are gonna be stronger for you to grip it. What is really interesting is the link I sent you earlier, the picture where Xbox is exploring this idea, which we already kind of knew was happening, but now we have confirmation via Windows Central that they want you to be able to, big screen boot up into a
Yeah.
launcher, and of course that's gonna be what's gonna be on the next console, which is as soon as you press that Xbox button, or the PC button, whatever you want to call it, you get put into the Xbox ecosystem. So for the handheld, it's gonna be the same thing, probably if they can get it out in time, and that's gonna make it feel very close to a Steam Deck. And I think
If
this is what they want to do.
you think they're going to make it local now,
Well, they're working on it, so whether it comes out for this platform or not, nobody knows yet. We do know that they're working on something for the next
okay.
Windows, so it's hard to tell. I think ideally, it's better to have it come out for this platform, and then obviously have people, this looks like an Xbox, plays like an Xbox, but it's a PC, and even at that, you could even see what Sony does. Obviously, it's not going to be able to emulate Xbox games. That's something they're working on in the background as well. But this
Yeah.
is as close as you can get to an answer before releasing your official product as to what Sony might do. They might not like the idea that this thing looks like an Xbox, boots into the Xbox ecosystem, and then press a button and now you're on Steam and now you can play our games.
Man,
Because the template for this will essentially be the template for the next Xbox console.
listen. Sapo says, I hate to say this, but Sony is in trouble. They're going to have to start a Sony OnlyFans. Listen. Okay. Before I go, Ashes, thoughts on Tyre's musings and also the supposed shadow announcement.
Just give me a second. I'll be with you now, ne?
Oh, okay. All right. So let me just give my take on this one. Ty, if, and this is a big if, if they do, what's this? The Elemental Hero says, wait, something is off though. This new handheld look like an upgrade. Look like an upgraded for the okay, an up. It looks like an upgrade for the ROG Ally X. I'm confused where the X part comes in. All right, so the X part comes in. If you look on the screen right now, it's a ROG Ally and a controller that has the offset analog sticks. As the article on VGC says, that's a controller that is compatible with Xbox and PC. And then if you go to the official Twitter post on the reply on the post by ROG Global, Xbox, the official Xbox account replies with the monkey looking at the screen. Hold on, let me see if I can't. All right, let me just let me put up the tweet thing on the screen, and then you guys can see exactly what I am. Um, all right, hold on. Oshas, are you back or
Yeah.
are you dealing with something personal? What's up, dog? What's happening?
No, I was actually just going to refill my drink.
Oh, okay. What are you drinking?
Just what is it? Strip sparkling granadilla. Um,
Hi, hi. Hold on. I just want to show the Elemental Hero something real quick. There you go. Elemental Hero. So this is the post by ROG Ally, right? The official account put it on Twitter. That's the video that was playing on a loop, and this is the response from Xbox right under
mhm.
it. Cautious, go ahead.
Xbox fans and hope. Like, if there's one thing that
Well,
you always
I'm
have
I'm not
as
an
an
Xbox fan.
Xbox,
Hold on. I'm
yeah,
not an Xbox fan, but I'm hopeful.
yeah, no,
Are
like
you,
that is their key marketing. The cornerstone of their marketing is hope. Always hope that
oh my
the next
goodness.
thing will be better or the next thing will work. I've been down
Jeez.
this road so many times. I'm so indifferent to this. It's just another thing that's gonna be a nothing burger. Like like just look at historically what they've done. What has
Okay.
actually amounted to anything that has lasted sustainability wise?
Not much.
It's always like they're so hopeful for the next thing. Oh, our next thing is gonna we messed this one up, but trust us, this next thing we're gonna blow your mind. Okay. And again, another thing that's just weird for me here is that I've got this icon because on my PC, I actually use Asus's launcher, Armor Crate, for my games. And if I look at what he's doing, like for instance, when the controller and the Rogue Ally drop into the transformation thingamabob, that's not an
Mm-hmm.
Xbox controller.
No, it's not.
That's the default Rogue Ally controller that comes with one of the bundles.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it's one of the very few controllers on planet Earth, unfortunately. Right? For me it doesn't make sense. Bluetooth
yeah,
should be Bluetooth. I don't understand this. If a controller is Bluetooth, it should work on a console
yeah,
that needs controllers with Bluetooth. But you know what? Let's leave that to the side. This is one of the few controllers on the planet, Oshus,
yeah,
that you can use on an Xbox without any, shenanigans.
yeah. Sure. Like,
So what? That
I've never
doesn't count
tried
for
it.
anything?
Yeah, but again, like we're interpreting smoke signals here to say, well,
Yes, we are.
this
Yes, we are.
this and this is the thing, like with Xbox, bro. Like it's never anything tangible. It's always when one plus one equals four, then this possibility. It's always just this hypothetical. I don't care about speculating about Xbox because that's all it amounts
Are
to.
you saying that you're indifferent to it, or this is a lie?
I'm saying I'm indifferent. Whether this is what they're doing or the direction they're going.
Oh, come on,
Who
Oshus. You're
is
telling
still
me if
interested?
Xbox do this, you're telling me if Xbox do this, no one's going to care.
I'm saying I'm not going to care because this already exists anyway. It's called a Rogue Ally, and it's
It's
called
not though.
a
It's
Steam
not.
Deck or a Legion
It's
Go.
not though. It's
Okay,
not, Oshus.
what is it then?
The potential permutations that Ty even pointed out is,
Hmm.
what if this thing plays native
Native what? Because
Xbox?
they've already everybody has sort of said that it's not going to.
No, this one isn't going to play native. That's going to be future
That's
stuff.
never gonna happen now.
Yeah, this one isn't going to be native. But this one might do
Might do what?
differently. Is it could have the what Jez was talking about, which is it'll be could be the first handheld that boots you directly into the ecosystem. At least from a Windows point of view, as opposed
Directly
to
into
like
what? I don't
like,
understand.
like Steam.
But yeah, so in other words, it will launch the Xbox app as the default API.
Yeah, but it's still just Xbox PC, correct?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
still Xbox PC. Yeah, you gotta
it's
wait for
just
the
Bro,
future
Xbox
for an
PC.
Xbox
then
anyway.
it ain't nothing. Then it's
That's
nothing.
exactly what I'm saying.
Ushers, Ushers, look at the screen. Sapo had a response for you because you said the Xbox does stuff, but then it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So there's your response. Are you good? Are you good? Can we carry on?
Yeah, sure. But again, like, what is that amounted to for the platform?
Oh my God, Dayreezy is Yo, Ushers is back to being Ushers. Chat's coming for your neck, bro.
Yeah, I see
Chat's
the
coming
reason.
for
I
your
see.
neck. You were the chosen one, Ushers. You were
Oh,
the chosen one.
you guys
Oh
were
well.
deceived. You,
it was said
you,
it
you,
was said you'd bring balance.
you were deceived. So,
Ushers went and killed all the Padawans. He went and killed all the Padawans.
yep.
All right. You know what? So if that's all it is, Tai, then I retract. I retract my statement. This is a whole lot of nothing. I was sitting here thinking, I'm finally going to get my PC handheld. Clearly, clearly, that's not going to happen.
No, but like
It's
if you're a fan of the PC handheld, like I wouldn't even say this is targeted at Xbox. Like maybe from a marketing point of view, if you're an Xbox guy, go for this. But if you're a fan of PC handhelds, then just look at the
yeah.
specs. And if the specs are sexy and nice, then purchase it.
I
But
want
why?
you know what I don't want? I don't want to buy a handheld like, for example, at the end of the year, 2025, and then 2026 or 2027, here comes the Xbox handheld that
Yeah.
everyone's been talking about, right? And this one has native all the stuff that you have on your console plus Steam. And I'm stuck there sitting with half a product.
No,
Look,
true. So I would say wait, but like when Usher said why, the point really for this is not for an Xbox console user. This is for anybody who's been looking to get a PC handheld. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you could purchase this one.
okay, but like, why can't you buy any other PC handheld? Because all this is going to be software, and all that's going to happen is
No,
that
no, no,
Asus
no,
is
no.
going to launch
No, yeah,
that
software, but
same
like no,
software
but the question
on
is like,
all the
what's
other PC
what's in the
handhelds.
hardware, right? So like,
Yeah.
take away the Xbox branding, take away the
Yeah,
the ROG Ally branding. You have Lenovo, you have this, you have five
yeah.
handhelds in front of you. The
Remember
question is
the
if
post said marathon stamina, more capacity, faster speeds, and fresh look. So
yeah,
it's not just gonna be, oh, this is just a ROG LIX, but we put in some Xbox stuff.
yeah. So like one
If
of
we're
my
going
guys
by the
has the
Twitter
ROG.
post.
Like one
Okay.
of my guys has a ROG, and he's looking to upgrade, and he wants to wait for the Xbox one, but if he can't wait, then this might be the one for you. It has all the upgrades you need. There you go.
I don't know, dude. Like, I just think that, like, if you are
I
looking
might
for
end up
PC
getting it
handhelds,
also.
there's just too
Like
many options.
if I find
No,
out
no,
that the Xbox handheld is coming out in 2028, for example, I might just fucking buy this one.
Asha, she said there's too many options, but like this is one
Way
of
too
the
many.
options, right? So the question is this a good option? If the answer is yes, then you buy it.
But like, this is the what you were describing when you said, like, we're talking about the hardware for these things. You do know that the hardware for all these things is identical. They all use a version of the Z1 or Z1 Extreme AMD chip. Like,
Yes,
they all
but
use Windows. The only thing that's going to happen is this one is probably going to launch this new front end for Xbox, and then a couple of months later or a couple of weeks later, you'll be able to download the app that does that on your old Rogue Ally.
yeah, but hold on. Look, what did you say this hardware might have?
So more they said more stamina, which means a
Hmm.
longer lasting battery, more
Yeah.
capacity. I mean, it's right there. Faster speeds. So whatever's processing in there is going to be faster than what it was, and the fresh looks are going to change up.
Okay, so my question to you now, Ashos, is that if you wanted to buy a PC handheld, why would
Yeah.
you get a weaker version as opposed to this one?
It's cheaper, maybe.
Because first of all, like the Rogue Ally is like a third of the price now, and you're still getting the same Windows experience. So a lot of these are going to be cheaper, and it's not going to be significantly more powerful than what's available.
Yeah,
Because
but
the
like,
people that
but
make the most
if
powerful
you're not
ones,
price sensitive and you want the best product available, in the same way how some people might want to get the PS5 Pro because it's the best
yeah,
product available. My question is, if money is not really an option, why would you get a weaker PC handheld where you can get a better version?
because there's better ones with better specs that will probably be out. Just like when the
No,
Ally
no,
X was
no, yeah,
out,
yeah, but
there
like we're
was
not
a
talking about people
much
who want to
better
wait. We're not talking about
proprietary
people who
one.
want to wait next year. We're talking about people now. So
Yes.
if you look at
Can
the
I
Lenovo Legion Go S and you
Yeah.
want a normal ROG Ally, or this is available and money's not an option between those three handhelds, which one is the better option?
Have you ever heard of a company called AO Neo?
I have.
Yeah, but almost no one buys those consoles, man. Come on,
But
two
exactly,
two
those are the
thousand dollars. That's crazy.
exactly. That's my point. Is that there'll always be more powerful one if you're not a price sensitive person. I'm answering Taya's question about prices. If you're a person that has infinite money
Yeah,
and you
but
want the
like we're
best
not
handheld,
I'm not
you're
like
not gonna buy
well,
an
I'm not
Xbox
talking
handheld.
about
You're
somebody
gonna buy
buying
an AO
I'm not
Neo.
talking about somebody buying a handheld for 2K.
Well, they start at about 1,200. Some of them are 899, and you still get a better spec than what you get with the popular ones.
If your range, if you're sensitive in the case of let's say 100 or $150 or whatever it is, right? Not 2,000
Hmm.
extra, and this one is the best one in the range that you're speaking of, I don't understand why you'd get a weaker version. That's what I'm trying to understand. It's like
First of well, my first question to you is
it's
that
like
like, I don't even
Nintendo.
yeah.
It's like Nintendo releasing like the Switch 2, right? And it goes, oh, but for an extra $60 or $70, you get the the LCD
Okay.
screen or whatever it is, yeah. And I'm saying, yeah, some people will probably still go for the weaker one for whatever reason. But I'm saying that if you're not that price sensitive and you think the 60
Yeah.
bucks extra isn't that big of a deal, and you can get a faster hardware that has a better battery life, and we know handhelds, you want a good battery. I don't understand why you'd get the weaker one. It seems like you're saying get the weaker one because this is Xbox branded and I hate Xbox.
No, not at all. I'm just saying it's just not what is the value proposition. You're not giving me a value
If
proposition.
if
You're just
Lenovo, okay,
saying
fine.
because you keep
If
changing the
ROG, hold on, if ROG came out with
yeah.
a new handheld and it was this, not Xbox attached, would you tell everybody don't get this piece of shit?
Absolutely, because they just released the LIX not even a year ago. Now they're just making another increment. Like, go look at the market for these things. It's oversaturated. Every 6 months, there's a new one coming out. So what you're saying is that, well, if you don't have the one that came out 6 months ago, you'd probably buy. Yes, that small amount of people that want to upgrade now or feel that they have to buy one now will buy one. But some people are already attached to the new Legion Go S, I think, that has that Steam front end with the power of a Windows handheld. So there's so many variations of these things that are better
The
value
Legion Go
propositions.
S didn't review well. Didn't review well. I
Well,
think
we
most
don't even
people.
know what this how this is gonna review.
Yeah, but I'm okay. But if this reviewed well, would you then change your mind? Be like, okay, I get this instead. This is ROG Ally, right?
Because
This
I
is
of a
don't
what these
need
review?
guys.
this. But I don't need this because I already have one
No, but we're
that
not
does
talking about it.
exactly the
We're
same
talking
thing.
about the markets, not you.
Okay.
So
What
my
about the
point is,
market?
if my friend is a fan of ROG,
Yeah, because you brought up the Iron Neo using the market, Oshus. So it's a fair point.
if my friend is a fan of ROG, right,
But
and
that's what I'm talking. Yeah, and I
he doesn't mind getting the ROG brand because that's what he likes, and he knows the same
yeah.
guys who made ROG is making this. The question is, why should he get a weaker version when he can get this one that has a better battery life? Like you're not answering that question. You're just saying, well, get. You're just saying get the weaker one. I'm asking, okay, but why?
No, I'm saying there's probably better. Well, I answered your question. I told you that there's better
What?
ones. You can go to AO Neo's website and you can literally customize your own one, the one that you
Yeah,
want.
Iron
So
Neo has already the best
I'm
handheld on the
saying
planet.
they will always, they are so far ahead in terms of the market. If you're looking for something that's more customized and you're willing to spend a little bit more, I bet you AO Neo can sort you out with a
Okay,
better
quick question.
handheld.
Apart from Steam Deck, what's the best selling like handheld brand?
Uh,
Wait.
Probably
Number one
between
is first the Switch. Why are we ignoring the Switch? Why are we ignoring the Switch right now?
That is the handheld, Joe. Freak of
What?
nature device.
It's not a handheld. It's a freak of. All right. Number two is definitely Steam Deck. I think.
Okay, yeah, too. What's number three?
best selling. Let me see. Best selling mobile. I don't know that by off by head. I would
I
assume that
mean,
it's probably between the Rogue Ally and the Legion Go,
yeah. So
because
I,
the
I, I
other
would assume ROG because all my friends I know have ROGs.
uh,
I'm just,
pick
I just don't. I
best
think what I'm
selling
looking at is like
handheld
if this
PC.
was
You
just a
would be
ROG device
surprised.
and it came out, they'll be interested.
Handheld PC. I'll tell you now. Let's see.
But make sure
It's
your search is
Steam
by
Deck.
sales. Cautious.
Uh,
Make sure it's by sales.
Handheld PC by sales. Yeah, all I'm getting here is just like there's no definitive answer because probably nobody sort of like tracks these because they just qualify as PCs. Let's see. Okay,
That's
so there's a
true. I just
first.
did the same.
Okay, it says here the Rogue LIX is considered the best selling and the best performing handheld PC,
Yeah,
offering the power of a gaming experience,
considered.
punchy screen. Again,
Considered.
yeah, they very. But my whole
I'm
point
not even
with this
talking
is
about
that
sales.
how different is this new thing going to be from the regular Rogue LIX, which already has better battery life? Is it just going to be a spec upgrade of the same Z1 chip?
Which is
Then what?
fine.
Yeah, for if you've not bought into this, but for someone
And
like
also
me
we
who
don't
owns the
know.
first
We
version,
and again, Oshas, we also don't
yeah,
know how much it costs.
100%.
Because
That's also
for
true.
example, the ROG Ally X, how much is it going for? $700,
In
right?
US dollars, I believe so. Yes,
Yeah, $700.
Alright. Let's say this one is 800.
the price of
I
a
can
PS Pro.
see people buying this over the X because the
But even
people
at that, right?
and don't even bring up the PS Pro, because if you're looking for handheld gaming, it doesn't matter how much the PS Pro costs. Your competitors are just either tablets
Hmm.
or the
Oh
Switch.
yes,
That's all it is.
there's
No
one
one's
thing that
looking
we're
to buy a
ignoring.
PS Pro, but also checking handhelds. What else
So
are we ignoring?
we're ignoring another significant segmentation in that market, and that's laptops. Laptop PCs can outperform these things, run circles around these things, and they are portable and they come in
Did you
various
what?
amount of.
Why did you get a ROG Ally instead of a laptop PC?
Because I wanted to play my Xbox games on it.
Your ROG Ally? Yeah, okay. So yeah, so it's the same thing, right?
Mm.
It's
Because
like
of the form factor, I
no, no,
wanted that
yeah,
form factor. Yeah.
exactly. It's like you're reaching for reasons why you should, like, for
No,
example,
but,
now
but I can
I'm
say,
looking
but I
at
can
these
say
stats
to
right
you,
now.
you're reaching for
No, but hold on.
reasons
These
why
stats
people should
says
buy
the ROG
this.
Ally X
Hmm.
improvement gave it a larger battery and more RAM,
Yeah.
which boosted sales. So if the ROG Ally X2, which is an Xbox branded ROG Ally
Yeah.
X2, increases the large battery and gives it more RAM, like, would that not boost sales? Is that not a good thing? Like, why would I get the weaker one when I can get the ROG Ally X? It's like you telling me right now, don't get the ROG Ally X type, get the original ROG Ally. I'm like, okay, but the X seems good. It's the same thing with the Xbox version coming out. It's like, why would I get the X version when I can get the better version?
So can I make an analog example? So if I am now in a market for a PlayStation and I'm looking for between PS5 and PS Pro, am I automatically just
Okay.
gonna go get the Pro because it's better?
No, but in the same way, people were not going to get the X because it's better. But what I'm saying, it's an option. I don't know why you're
No
Yes,
way,
and
advocating
I'm
for
not,
less
Sapo.
consumer options.
but
There's no
I'm not
way this thing will
disagreeing
be
with you.
$500.
No, it won't.
Sapo, no way it's $500.
It
If
just these things are too expensive to
if
make.
the X is 700, this one is supposedly faster, right? Just flat out faster. If we're following whatever they posted on Twitter, if this is going to be
Yeah.
a better product, there's no way it's $500. No way.
There was not an argument, but I think some people suggested that it's possible that Xbox could subsidize it. Maybe.
Oh my goodness! If this thing is $500, we might have to have a conversation. If it's
It
five
is.
hundred bucks,
I think for
Yo,
Xbox, what they really want to do is they can afford to do this, right? Because they own the ecosystem. ROG has to make a profit. Um, Tom Rowan did mention that the way this might work, and says there's precedent for this, is that Xbox might give Asus a
that's
portion
crazy.
of sales. So
That's
if people
crazy.
are using the ROG Ally what Xbox version and they're actually buying games, they could get a
I
certain
just
percent.
That's
And
crazy.
that sounds wild, but then if you remember, Xbox also
That's
did
beyond
something
wild,
very
bro.
they did something very similar with GameStop, where they said, if you use our I think it's called Live Access, the thing that Sony was doing as well. Do you guys remember?
Okay.
yeah.
Where
No.
if you can lease a PlayStation or whatever it is, Xbox did something very similar to start, and the deal with GameStop was for how many people you sell Xboxes that sign up to this plan, we will give you a portion of game sales. That could be 1%, 2%. So incentivize GameStop to actually sell Xbox consoles because they were getting a cut. And what Tom kind of alluded to is that Microsoft might use that same strategy here. So they'll go to Lenovo, they'll go to Asus, they'll go to all these guys and say, yeah, you can make Steam consoles, handhelds,
Okay.
whatever it is. But if you make Xbox and you put us at the forefront and you flood the market with Xbox branded PC consoles, for every sale that happens there, yeah, sure, we get 30%. We might give you a percent of that. And that
That's
incentivizes these guys to actually participate more. So
that's
I think that's what we might
madness.
see.
That's madness. The Elemental Hero. Hold on, Oshus, before you go. Elemental Hero says, "Look, but it will depend on the capacity storage. Does this new handheld the have will depend on the price on the new handheld because the previous ROGs different capacities, different
Mm.
prices. Yeah, that's what we were discussing. That's what we were discussing. Fuzzy says $500 is probably too cheap, but it definitely could
You're
come
not
in a
gonna get
little
more power for
cheaper
500
than
bucks.
you'd expect. Dude, if okay, Ushers, let's go down this very dark alley. I
No,
know, and you don't want to go down. This is the first
because no.
time, Ty. This is the
Okay, let me
first
put it like
time,
this. Let me
Ty.
put it like
This is
this.
the first time we have a random dark
Yeah.
alley, and Ushers is sniveling like a little bitch, saying, "No, no, I want my mommy."
Okay. No, look,
Ushers,
we could do that.
we're going down this alley.
Okay, fine.
Let's
But like,
say,
can I just
let's
say
say this
something?
motherfucker is $500.
Can I say something now?
What's the next move? No, 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 Ushers. No,
Yeah.
no. We're going down this alley. You're not
Okay.
going to trick us into going somewhere else. We're going down this specific alley. If
Mm-hmm.
it's $500,
Mm-hmm.
what's up?
I think Harvard University should open a theoretical physics Xbox what do you call it class where we explore all the potentials if X equals Y in this universe. Does that mean that Xbox would be able to sell consoles? Because we're doing so much
So you're
theoretical this
refusing,
and that.
you're refusing to answer the question. Ty, Ty, you know I'm all about consistency.
Hmm.
No more theoreticals with Oshus. Does this not sound like a fun idea?
What was the idea? $500?
Oshus, Oshus, Oshus is
I
saying
can answer you.
he
Like
does
it's still
not
not
want to. No, 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 Oshus. I know you can answer me. I know you
no,
can, but you've just refused to do it.
no, I
So what
didn't.
I'm proposing is for you, no, because you throw out your Harvards, right, and these crazy ass like ideas of this is insane that we're sitting
It
here
is.
talking about a potential situation. So I'm saying in the name of like disabusing you of having to engage in insane conversations about hypotheticals, Oshus, we're not going to do it anymore
Okay. All I'm gonna say is
because
this.
because you can't sit there. No, 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 you can't sit there and then
Yeah.
when there's a hypothetical on the table and it is obviously to the benefit of Xbox, we're not having this hypothetical anymore.
I didn't refuse
It's
to ask you a
dumb.
question.
It's
No,
dumb to have this hypothetical.
but
Bro, I asked you a question. Do you know where you ended up? You ended up in Harvard, bruv.
yes,
Press rewind.
very
Go
good.
to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Press
Yeah,
rewind. You ended up in Harvard.
fair enough.
That's how
and I was
far, that's how
no, it's
fast
not
you ran
far.
away from this one.
No, it's not at all.
I'm
Like
just
all
trying
I'm
to
saying.
accommodate you. I'm just
Okay,
trying to accommodate you. That's
all
all I'm
right.
doing. I brought up
Okay,
an
so let me.
hypothetical. You
Okay,
refuse to answer this
no, no, no.
hypothetical
When did I? Okay,
based on the ludicrous nature of us discussing a hypothetical.
all those things are things that those are words that you curated. Like I did not say any of that stuff.
I
All I
I didn't
said,
ask you this, and then you took us to Harvard saying that we need to ask for a master's class about how we can discuss
yes,
hypotheticals
absolutely. Because
For Xbox to sell consoles.
how is that? I don't think that's unreasonable.
You didn't engage the question because you don't want to engage the question.
I can answer your question.
I asked
It's
you
a
a
very
simple
simplistic
question.
answer.
You took
Okay,
us to Harvard, bruv.
okay. So I'll answer your simple question.
No, no, no. I'm going to tie it, and then I'll come back to you, and hopefully by then you'll be done with Harvard. Ty,
Yeah, because
if
that's
this
what it
thing is
takes.
$500, if this
Hmm.
thing is $500, are you willing to engage?
No,
What
because
are your thoughts?
I don't do PC handhelds, but yeah, no, I actually want to engage because I'm not a handheld gamer. I just wouldn't do it. I'd rather just stream it from my phone. I think that's more of a viable option
What's
for
your
me.
problem with handheld gaming? I'm curious. I thought you liked Nintendo. What's up
I
with that?
don't, man, I don't know where this Nintendo rumor came from.
I
I
thought you were a
swear.
Nintendo guy. I swear.
Yeah, I know. I do. I like Xenoblade and Smash Bros. And Metro. I do. I like their games, but like I'm very critical of these people. I think they're really good at leeching off their fan base. But anyways, listen. I'm not really a handheld
Damn.
gamer. I play my Switch games like on TV. If it's $500, that's quite cheap and that's really really good. For sure. I don't think it'd be actually. I have a rough idea what price it would be. Yeah, I actually do. Actually, yeah, I do. Wait, I'll say this, and even Oshos can chime in on this one with his answer. But
Mm.
in terms of the reports we have, so it says the next gen ROG Ally handhelds that will incorporate the new AMD Ryzen Z2 chips. I expect it to release sometime this year, so the Xbox handheld will probably have it. So I think when it comes to PC handhelds, you're not going to see this leap like from the PS1 to the PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. It's going to be incremental. So if you got a ROG Ally X, your games from the like your Starfield game can run on the first ROG Ally. Your new one, your Starfield game will run on the ROG Ally X as well. So it's going to be incremental changes. So apparently this is going to have the AMD Ryzen Z2 chips, and this is a quote from Jez. Sorry, and also it's going to have faster speeds, more capacity, and obviously a fresh look and a good stamina. And this is a quote from Jez, Windows
Hmm.
Central. He says, I don't think Asus or Microsoft has placed a hard price on Keenan just yet, but I do know the target price range, and it's actually not as bad as expected. Our sources
What's the
indicate that it won't be quite as cheap as the base model Steam Deck, but it won't be as expensive as a Lenovo Legion Go. It'll be somewhere in the middle with a base model price range between 499 and 599. So $500
that
to
that
600
doesn't
bucks.
sound
Sorry, to
terrible.
$700.
That doesn't sound
And
terrible.
and let me just ask you a question: is he saying that at that price point, this is going to be more powerful than the current offering in terms of like processing power and
The Ally
efficiency?
Well,
X.
all we know is faster speeds, more capacity, marathon, and it's going to use the AMD Ryzen Z2 chips.
Okay,
So
well then,
Yes,
like
yes,
it
Xbox.
sounds a
the
bit too
answer is
good to be
yes. The
true.
answer is yes.
So
The answer is
Xbox,
Okay.
yes,
Xbox could be
Oshan.
subsidizing it in some way, shape, or form.
But okay, let me ask you a question. If Xbox is willing to subsidize this and they're not really willing to subsidize consoles going forward, I just don't see the correlation here. This is a company, somebody mentioned it in the chat, that this is a company that's moving away and that's made it clear by many indications that they want to move away from hardware. Why would they be subsidizing third party hardware with no proprietary software from them to promote per se?
Well, okay. Well, there's two things there. So I don't know if they're subsidizing. Nobody actually knows that. But if they are subsidizing, it could be because they want to get into the market fast. That's just the first answer that comes to my mind. They might not subsidize for the future stuff, but they might want to do it this way. Another way that they could subsidize it is could be Lenovo. Remember, all these companies they need to make profit off the hardware. Whereas, as Tom
100%.
as Tom Warren said, Xbox might be willing to cut them a deal that hey, listen, every game that's sold or every new Game Pass subscriber will give you a percentage or will give you a cut of that price. And that's because they
Okay.
want to get into the market. They want to get into the handheld market as fast as possible. If you
Doing good
have
now.
five potential Xbox PC branded handhelds, you
Mm-hmm.
know, one from Lenovo, one from Samsung, one from all these different companies, then you're flooding the market with options. So you're probably going to be in a good position. So I think that's what they're trying to do because we know Steam is doing that already. I think the Lenovo Legion S has that Steam button to press. So
Yeah.
that could be what they're trying to. That's probably what they're trying to do here. In
But
terms of
okay.
the main console, I don't. I mean, will they subsidize that? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not too sure.
I think
Well,
that's wild.
so my
If they actually subsidize, that would be fucking crazy. I don't think Xbox should do that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I just don't see the 590, like the $500 thing. It just makes no sense to me because these things are incredibly expensive to make. There is no precedent for that. So they would need to do something like subsidize the hardware for it to cost that low. Because one thing that Asus is not known for is good pricing. Both the Rogue Ally and the Rogue Ally X were by the largest margin by most people's account very much overpriced compared to what's available in the market at the time. So for them to do this, I'll dude, like we'll see. Like if they and again, like what concessions, like yes, it's making using PC proprietary hardware to make a handheld is incredibly expensive. It's not a cheap endeavor. So I don't see in which world they do this. But if, like, to answer Loke's question, for 500, would I go for it? Again, I'm not the right person to ask because I already own one of these things, and I know that they're just gonna release an update via their launcher that's gonna be able to do this anyway. Because what Xbox wants is everything is an Xbox. So whatever a thing that this launches with, it will be available for other handhelds, including the Legion Go and whatever other devices are out there in a couple of months at the most. So I already have this. Why would I need to pay another $500 to own this again?
Mm. You know, from what I remember listening to, it might have been Jazz or different podcasts, but it said that Xbox was working, you know, hand in hand with them on this device. So maybe
Mm.
it's not going to be as overpriced. Maybe Xbox wasn't interested in overpriced hardware.
So
Um, and you know, I think the main thing is they want to get this out
yeah,
to everyone to see. And with the Switch 2
yes.
dropping and with a Lenovo Legion Go S dropping that has Steam, and they know they're late to the party. In fact, you could make a really strong argument that they would prefer to drop their own console first, their own handheld first.
You see, that would make more sense to me. If Xbox was saying we're doubling down, we're going to be working with the Asus to release a handheld by the end of this year, then I would say that's a. And again, like you need to take these chances when you have the opportunity. And I think waiting until 2027 to release your own handheld, and all this becomes then is like those Razer products that have Xbox branding on it. So you'll probably get an Xbox button on it. You'll probably get a shortcut that leads you to the launcher. Blah blah blah. You'll get all the aesthetic things that make it look like an Xbox, but it's still gonna function like a Rogue Ally.
But you see, I think that's fine with them because as far as they're concerned, they've already gone to this market late. You know, the Switch took off, Steam took off, ROG has taken off. So the question is like, do we launch in 2027? And then there's another five Steam handhelds, Steam Deck, Lenovo Legion S, ROG
Yeah.
Allies, Steam version. Like, at what point do you say, yo, like, you know, time is ticking. We need to drop now. I think this makes sense.
And what is the purpose of them doing this, Ty? Like, what is their goal?
To
Is
be
this
everywhere.
market share? Well, no, being everywhere, they're already everywhere anyway by the virtue of them being a publisher for everyone.
Market
What
share.
is, in terms
I
of
think
hardware, what is the purpose
the way
there?
ROG wins with this is they probably imagine a situation where they can grab more Xbox users. So I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes ROG's best selling handheld because
That's a possibility.
Xbox would be interested, PC gamers would be interested because it's a new ROG. So you're doing two birds with one stone. And Xbox wins in a sense. Who knows? Like I said, if it's been subsidized even from a gaming perspective, and ROG is getting like a 1% cut, you know that's a win for them. That's a win for Xbox because, as I said, they want all their they want as much consoles out there as much as possible. They don't want Steam to be the one taking over this space. So if you look at Xbox
Yeah.
as Steam's primary competitor, even though you can say they're worse at it or they're crap at it, the question is, what do you need to do to compete? And that answer is very simple. You need to be everywhere as fast as possible.
I don't know, man. Like, I think
Um,
Steam software is gonna. Sorry, Telo.
Sapo says, what if they get with Resume to work on it? That's if it's going to work, it's not going to be on this machine.
Yeah,
Definitely
Quick
not going to be
Resume
on
is
this
very
machine.
proprietary to Xbox. Like,
Yeah,
this is PC hardware.
it's like magic.
Um, yeah. So
I
so
don't know
my
how
thing
they
is
do it.
like it's very weird to me for Xbox to care this much about market share for hardware on PC, whereas they've failed for 25 years to gain market share in a market where they could easily just
No,
using money.
no, this is different. This is
How is it
different.
different?
This is this is Xbox trying to care about market share, not not hardware. This is
But
software.
no, but like this
This
is
is
hardware.
software.
Like I
No, it's
mean,
not there.
yeah,
It's not their hardware. And we have to look at this if I'm
yeah.
going to explore this idea. We have to look at this the same way they look
Hmm.
at Windows. They want it on every machine. So the real fight is not even like Microsoft versus, so it's not Xbox versus Steam. It's like Microsoft versus Linux. Because the more people that engage with Steam, the more people that will possibly engage with and explore Linux.
Nah, but
The
Linux is
more,
almost non-existent though, look, like in terms of gaming wise. It's not a significant platform unless you're running like a Steam Deck that runs Linux primarily.
and
Like we all
No,
run Steam, but we
the
don't
idea,
use Linux to run Steam.
the idea is to maintain Linux as it is, because with a Steam Deck, you can kind of open the door to people exploring, because Steam is not the only thing on the Steam that you can use on the Steam Deck, and people that will rock up obviously will rock up just for the Steam for Steam, right? But then with time, right, people get comfortable with their gadgets. People start exploring. People start trying new things, and then you bump into some guy called Oh No It's Alex, and it's like, yeah, this thing runs on Linux, not Microsoft, and you can do this and do that and whatever, and then in 1 year it's five people that are like, you know what, let me try Linux on my PC, and then the next thing it's 5,000, etc., etc. For me, I would see this as them being like, we're now moving into the next level of making sure that we continue to make the competition just us versus Apple, because Steam, but with the Steam Deck, has seen, obviously the rise has not been like gargantuan, but there has been a
It's only
rise of
4
Linux,
million, four,
of
5 million.
Linux users. That's still a lot of people.
But like again, none of those people are using Linux. They're just using the Steam storefront.
but
Because
How do
you,
you
Ushers,
know
you need
none
to
of
do
them? How do you know
Ushers,
none of them? How do you know
but
it's
like what
none of
I'm
Ushers?
no, I'm not saying none of them. I'm saying like
Okay,
the
you said
majority of
none.
people.
You literally said none.
Okay, I'll stick to that. How many people do you know that are using their Steam Deck? Because you need a whole bunch of homebrew things to
I know
do
it's not
PC
zero.
things.
I know
But
it's
like,
not zero, and
okay,
that's a
but then
problem,
but then that constitutes like, well, how is that competition for Microsoft? Why would they care?
because that's their main business, the software,
That,
and
but
especially the OS. they're
that's like
already
Steam.
they're already fighting a real fight with Apple.
Okay, let me give you the number of.
Some upstart is thinking that that they can do something. We've ignored them. They came out with a console. They sold 6 million on that console, and on that console, a whole bunch of other ideas the people those 6 million people can have. I'm not trying to open opportunities, dude.
But I don't understand why would Microsoft like Linux has been around forever. They've
Yes.
never cared about Linux. It's more in like I would go as far as saying to their business, it's less impactful now than it was 5, 10 years ago. Like where like I don't understand how Linux factors in as
Because
some form of competition. They're
because
insignificant.
gaming is the biggest entertainment product in the world, hands down. So it's like it can be used almost like
Okay.
like a gateway, not drug, but like a gateway to other things within gaming. I started, for example, as just a primarily console gamer.
Yeah.
I started watching YouTube videos. I fell down this rabbit hole about PC gaming. I bought I bought a PC. I'm now looking into PC stuff. It wouldn't like right now. I'm really focused on a handheld accessory to go with the PC. It's not a far leap for me to get a Steam Deck and then start thinking about stuff that is not just Steam oriented. The same way when I got the gaming PC, it was just to play specific games on Steam. Now I'm reading up on emulation and all these other extra stuff that wasn't like the main thing that brought me there.
But you do know the number of Steam desktop users in terms of percentage, right?
No,
It's like
I don't.
4%. Like this is why I say, why would Microsoft care about 4% of desktop users using Steam? Like where Steam, sorry, Linux, like where Linux is somewhat effective is in an arena where Microsoft has no footprint, and they probably will not have a footprint at all because they seized that. Again, they quit on that. They had an opportunity when they bought Nokia, but they quit on that. The only place like where like Linux really dominates is with Android users, and the fact that they a lot of that is developed at the back of a Linux kernel, which is about 71% of all smartphones, which are Android phones. So they already dominate there, and Microsoft is not in that market. There's no ways that they will ever compete. Like what I'm basically saying, look, is that Steam and Windows are never going to be on the same competing ground for anything. Microsoft, I don't think any like I would worry more if I was Apple about Steam than if I was Microsoft. There's almost no crossover
Okay,
competitively.
Last point on this one. Then we need to move on to the next topic.
Um. Okay. So I was actually looking for some quotes from Tom because he did a podcast with Random Jazz, and they asked him specifically about this as well as to why Xbox sees Steam as a threat, and he kind of touched on the fact that like they are somewhat fearful of Steam growing bigger than what it needs to be. He wants Xbox to be, oh, sorry, the Microsoft Xbox ecosystem to be at the forefront. So what Loke was saying, Tom was actually saying the same thing as well. Now, I mean that doesn't mean Loke is correct or Tom is correct. Like you can disagree with that, but I'm just
Mhm.
saying that like what Loke was saying, Tom was saying the same thing too, or more or less the exact same thing. So yeah, that's it.
Which part, like
All right.
the Linux versus Steam thing?
Yeah, I think Microsoft doesn't see it as PlayStation. He sees they start to look at Linux as a bit of a problem, and they don't want a situation where maybe even like if let's say these Steam consoles, home consoles take off, well then that means then Steam now becomes at the center of the household, right? If everyone's buying a
Which it
Steam
already,
console,
but
sorry.
which it already is through the PS5 and every other PlayStation console that's come before that, because they've all used Linux, and they don't want to compete with PlayStation. So I don't understand the logic behind all this. This makes
But
no sense.
but then let's say there. I mean, this is I need to look up what Tom said because I think it was some good points, but I didn't save it down. But then let's say they release a console, then right, and then
Hmm.
that console can play everything, including PlayStation games. Is that them then claiming it back?
I suppose if they can do that, yeah, sure.
All
I
right.
I
just
mean,
don't understand. Yeah.
I'll find the quotes and I'll
Yeah.
send it to you.
All right. Little palate cleanser very quickly.
Hmm.
I'm sure you guys know what BBLs are. Uh,
No.
Erica Badu, Erica Badu decided decided to troll BBLs when she was receiving an award at the Billboard's Women in Music event.
Wow.
Uh, real quick, Ty, no need to stay on this topic for 10-20 minutes. Just real quick, what are your thoughts on BBLs and Erica Badu trolling the fuck out of them?
I think it's a good message. Um, I don't think there's anything wrong with people who want to change up their bodies per se, right?
Yeah.
But I do understand the excessiveness of it is a problem, and we do see some. I think maybe the argument I will have here is that most people go for a decent size, so it's just these extremes that catch our attention because they're extreme.
Jeez.
Oshus
That
is like
is
that's too much.
that's heavy. Yeah. Shame, man. But like, I don't know. Sorry, Tay. Oh, jeez.
No, I'm good.
No, I was just looking at like, dude, that's a bit hectic though. Like, and I know that's what she does. Like, she's sort of like she's been like since I was in high school, she's been somewhat of a controversial figure.
Mm,
Um, but like, I don't know. Like, to me, I get it. I just don't know. Like, I don't know the context in terms of what she was saying or what she was trying to say. But I just feel that yes, a lot of these women that do this to their bodies in the first place have already got like body positivity problems and stuff like that. So I don't know, dude. Like, yeah. So this is like a serious subject, but yeah, it's just yeah. I think it's insensitive to people that were forced. Like, for instance, a lot of the people that do this are people that are
mm-hmm.
trying to make money on Instagram or
Yeah.
become the next. So they or become the next big OnlyFans. So a lot of this has also got to do with economics and the fact that people do this as a means to an end.
Are you about to defend BBLs? Ushers.
I'm just saying that like I don't know what is her messaging? What is he trying to say?
Oh my god. She's just trolling, bro.
She's
It's
trolling,
it's
but
not that deep. When people
it's
say it's not
insensitive.
that
Well,
deep,
yeah,
this is
but
one
she's
of
an
those
activist.
times.
That's the problem. Like she's an activist, so to her, this is a message that she's sending out.
Oh
This
no,
is not like
I agree with Ushers. It's deep. Like she's an artist. Like she knows what she's
yeah,
doing.
she knows
It's kind of
exactly
a
what
very
she's
clear
doing.
message.
It's
This
not
is not like
random. She's not just trying to have fun with it.
no. And
No,
again,
no,
like
no
she's
way.
very much like if you look at she's a very similar to Dr. Oma, so she's a Pan Africanist and she's into all that stuff. So she probably feels that a lot of people are like what's the thing are exploiting how black or they are using or benefiting or profiting of like the image of black women. I think that's probably her thinking. I don't know in this particular case, but I would, knowing her, that is probably where she's coming from, and she feels that those people are like it's an offensive thing, or it is almost like what is it, a culture vulture type thing that's happening. But what she's ignoring is that there's a lot of black women that have gotten BBLs as well. So where do they
I
fit
don't
into
think
it?
she's judging black women. I think this is
Yes,
communist.
Sapo. I'm with Sapo right now. Just bro, leave it, bro. Just what the hell? Sorry, Ty. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say that it's probably her critiquing
Yes,
the idea of
Ron
BBL.
Slasher is going to Oxford. Ushers, go and meet Ron Slasher at Oxford. Go and meet him. Go and meet him. That's like you were in
Uh,
Harvard
yeah.
like 20 minutes ago. Go to Oxford. Sorry, Ty. Go ahead.
No, that's it. I would say she's probably just targeting black women as opposed to women in general.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with Sapo though. Just laugh. It's funny. Y'all are overthinking it. I'm with Sapo. Speaking of
Yeah.
overthinking, the top selling game on Steam right now is called Schedule I, an
Yeah.
indie drug dealer simulator with more players than Monster Hunter Wilds, GTA 5,
What?
and Marvel Rifle. Straight up, here's the game. Here's the game. This is nuts. When I saw it, I was like, what? But yeah, it's real. It's real. It's so mid.
Oh, is the game mid? Is it not a good game?
I'm sure the game's probably awesome, but it looks. Oh, Schedule One, not Schedule I. All right, Schedule
Yeah.
One, but it looks so mid, bro. But again, we're the guys that got addicted to Vampire Survivor. You know what? I don't know why I keep insisting with IGN. IGN is so bad with their videos, bro. I don't know what's wrong with the way their website is set up.
I think it's the
I don't know
codec
what
that they
that's
used.
about. Yeah, yeah. It's something. It's something. You can't watch the videos, especially if you try and put it like on a loop or something. You can't watch the videos without something going wrong. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, let's put some gameplay up. This is from Cage848. So like random.
I've not heard anything about this game, so I'm really surprised. Um,
Check it out, bro. Check it out on Steam.
it's probably dirt cheap. I would buy it, like to just
It's about
to
20
see.
bucks if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
I think I saw it going for 20. But it makes no sense why this thing is like number one. I don't get it. Ty,
Oh, okay.
the premise sounds interesting though. The premise does sound interesting.
Okay, I did see the logo on my front. Oh, okay. I saw the logo on like my front
And you
page.
immediately ignored it, right?
I ignored it because it's not my type of thing. Yeah.
But look at this, bro. Like the premise is cool, right? Let me go
Mm,
back to the article. Let me go back to the article.
that
While you
does look
guys look
like
at the
some good
gameplay.
weed.
If you've been on Steam, Twitch, or gaming YouTube lately, you've probably seen Schedule One. It's an indie drug dealer sim that's currently the top selling game on Valve's platform, with more
Wow.
players than big hitters such as Monster Hunter Wilds, GTA 5, and Marvel's rivals after going viral across social media. Schedule
Oh,
1
wow.
launched last week and quickly made its way to the upper echelons of Valve's best selling and most played charts. Here's the official blurb: from small time dope pusher to kingpin, manufacture and distribute a range of drugs throughout the grungy city of Highland Point.
Hmm.
Expand your empire with properties, business, and employees, and more. It's developed and published by TVGS, aka Tyler, who took to Reddit recently to sum up Schedule One's explosive launch. So here's Tyler's post. I'm sure he's losing his mind. Honestly, it's amazing but pretty overwhelming. I never expected this kind of response. At
Wow.
the moment, I'm just trying to stay focused and get patches out ASAP. Also looking forward to getting started on content updates as soon as all major bugs are patched. Ty, thoughts?
I don't even know what to say. Like, to be honest with you, you know, interesting idea, interesting concept,
Yeah, yeah. Dude, the concept
originality.
is banger. Yeah, the concept is banger. Dorian, stop shitting on me, man. Stop it. God
My
forbid people
graphics.
play games. God forbid people play games to have fun. God damn. All right, just let me rest. Ty, go ahead. Sorry.
Interesting idea. I think what people should take from this is just be original, you know. And if you're original and you have a PC with Unreal Engine or whatever application, you can make something special. I wouldn't buy this. I have no interest in this. And maybe it does well at the start, and then people stop playing it because it's just a novelty that's really eye
But he
catchy.
sold.
Maybe.
He's already
Mm,
sold it. You know, if it's a
Uh,
single player game, if you're charging $20 and I don't know, 10 million people buy it,
mhm.
5 million. You know what? 1 million people buy it. That's
Yeah,
$20 million, bro.
yeah. No,
easiest
listen.
money he's ever made, I'm sure.
Yeah, all the more praise. Like things like this makes me want to become a developer as well. I'm like, well, maybe I'll make a shit as
Right?
well. You
Like maybe I
know,
can figure something out.
yeah, just be so original. But the problem is, thousands of games launch on Steam on a regular basis, and you don't hear
Yeah.
these stories just don't happen. So
Stop it.
right
Stop
place,
it.
right time.
This happens all the time. No, no. I'm willing to fight you on this, bro. This happens all the time. Just
Mm.
make something engaging. All you need is one streamer to stream it. That stream goes viral, and then people start recommending it to Asmongold and and then all hell breaks loose. You just you just have to make it good enough for one mid-sized streamer, and then
Mhm.
it all goes to shit.
True, true.
Oshus, uh,
Jeez.
Ron says, let's make Oxford game. Let's make an Oxford game.
That's a good idea. Uh,
Sapo, yeah, Sapo, you should probably try. For me, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry.
but look at this. Like, look at, and this is my thing is that, like, again,
It's a
this
simple
proves
concept.
it's a simple concept, but I'm looking the number
Yeah.
of players. It's got 324 in game right now, 324,000. Do you know what EA would
Jesus,
do for numbers like that? Do you know what like Activision would do for
bro,
numbers like that?
how many people they would kill?
40K reviews, 40K reviews, 96.31.
That's madness.
This is my thing, and this is the awesome thing of where we are at whenever I see people criticize AI art and all these things that enable small.
Oh, you want to get into that? All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, I'm just saying that, like, to me, this is whenever we talk about that stuff, I see the potential in small guys like this dude. His entire life is gonna change just because of this one game. He
Yes,
doesn't need to make another hit game ever again.
He's good.
He's good, but like to me, that's what this should be about. Is I'm more interested in experiencing something like this, regardless of the fact that there's basically no visuals. These are 1995 graphics from a Windows point and click game. But the bottom line is that the central concept is creative. There's an audience for it, and I can tell that the gameplay loop is pretty deep. And this would work just as well in a game like this, just like it would if this was a mini game within GTA where you could sell drugs on the side to make a living or whatever. So a lot of people are gonna like start latching on. Big studios are gonna start coming to guys like this and saying, "Dude, we love your concept. It worked very well. We want to put it in our game." And this is great for the creativity and the health of the industry because the people in the industry are just they take no chances anymore, and that's the problem. I don't
Yes.
think there's less
Okay.
creative
With
people.
that,
There's just no
with that I
chances.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's why I've
If
always
you went
said
to a
it's.
developer and you
Sorry.
told
Go
him
ahead,
like,
sir.
"Yo, give me like $200. I want to make a game." Everyone will give you money. Every shareholder will give you money. The problem is everyone's going to these shareholders and saying, "Well, because like even this dude, for example, right? Um,
Mm.
if he was like say, somebody who was actually developing games on a regular basis, right? He's not gonna go to EA and say, "Yeah, give me $200 or 10K to make a game." He's gonna ask for like 150, and as soon as you start asking for those like prices, sorry, or those that amount of money, yeah, you're gonna have to like make concessions. I don't think
But you no, but
I
you
don't look at.
don't. Hold on, Ty. You don't. And I'll bring out right, Hideo Kojima,
Mhm.
right, our Lord and Savior. Everyone knows this. This guy was also pressured with Konami. Konami was tired of Kojima after MGS2, and this guy kept being like, "No, this is my vision. I don't give a fuck what you guys think. This is my vision. Oh, do you guys want to just cancel this contract and I can keep it pushing? I'll find someone." And he called their bluff and they paid him the money. And you know what? He kept shitting out banger after banger after banger. And then when they finally grew some balls and kicked him off, do you know what happened? They made Metal Gear Survive. He made Death Stranding. The problem, like Osha said, we need to have more developers with cojones. We need people who are in game development that have the nuts to be like, EA, this is my vision. EA is like, that's not going to do it. Our guys in analytics or in with suits disagree and they say it's not going to work. And then developer X is like, oh, I don't care about those guys. Give me the money or I'm out. And then if EA says, all right, get the fuck out, that developer has to have the cojones and the belief in their vision to be like, oh, okay, bye. And then they go find someone else and make a banger there. And then let that happen 3 or 4 times to EA. Watch what happens the next time a visionary developer or leader of a team says, this is my vision. And then the suits say, we disagree. And then that person's like, all right, I'm willing to leave and go somewhere else. Watch what happens. This is learned behavior. So again, Ushers, uh, you know what? You're not always wrong. Finally, you got something. One
Nah,
one
Thank.
one
this is
million
just not
percent,
accurate.
Ushers. For
Hmm?
me, the games like this, they just remind me of the thing that I always say on this show. The whole AAA complex could burn tomorrow. Shut
Yeah.
it all down tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall be fine. Because even me that's shitting on this specific game, I'm pretty sure that if I were to buy this game, if I were to play this game, I'd
Mm.
be hooked too.
You can play your drug dealing game. I'll go play Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk 2077, GTA, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Like, what the hell are we talking about? Like, you want to play, you're picking this game over AAA bangers? Like, come on.
Hey man, I was addicted to Vampire Survivors for a good 2 months, and they were
And that, no,
AAA
that's
games
true, yeah.
waiting for me, and I
But
couldn't stop playing Vampire Survivors. Dude, it's about playing games, not about looking at them.
no, because it's about options and variety. So, in the industry we have now, you do get your Baldur's Gate 3, and you get your Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and you get your Space Marines 2, but you also get this game as well. So, the industry we have now is the
This
best
game
version of the gaming
This
industry
game
that we have.
exists with or without Baldur's Gate. Don't even know. I'm not
No,
buying it.
I'm talking about variety. I'm saying you have Baldur's Gate 3, you have Elden Ring, and you also have this game.
Yeah.
So you have the smaller creators who can make these games, and you have the big creators who are making the big games you want. It's almost like
What
you're
I'm saying,
advocating for the smaller games.
no, what I'm saying, Ty, is that if everyone in AAA right now shuts their doors and says it's not uh, making enough money, we need to leave. More of games like this are going to pop off, and more
Yeah.
of these guys are going to become millionaires and billionaires. And guess what the fuck they're going to do, Ty? They're going to take the same amount of drive, the same amount of creativity, and they're going to pour it into the schedule 2, schedule 3, schedule 4. And then you know what's going to happen in 15 to 20 years? In 15 to 20 years, these guys will regrow the gaming industry. Fuckers from EA, from Microsoft, from Sony will go and buy these guys out and make their games generic all over again. And then we have to restart the cycle every 30 to 40 years. That's what's going to happen. Yes, Dorian Gray, there needs to be a crash. We're good. The roots are
They, they,
rotten.
they ain't no
Let's
crash,
redo
brother.
this.
They ain't no crash. Like, like, let's get freaking real here. You do not say, "Oh my God, 2023 was an amazing gaming year. Oh my God, 2024 was good. Oh, 2025 is
Okay.
shaping up good," and say there needs to be a crash. That doesn't make sense. It can't. There can't be a crash after 3 years of great games. Correct?
There won't be.
No,
Yeah.
well, I
No,
mean, the
when I
crash is,
say
yeah.
there needs to be, I do honestly believe that there needs to be, but I'm not sitting here thinking it's realistically going to happen.
No, but
I will
but
be
I'm saying
shocked.
based
I'll
on
be
what?
shocked when it
I'm
happens
saying,
because
but
the
why would
last
you want a
crash.
crash? Why would you want a crash?
Why would I want to crash? Because I want games like this. I want games like this to have GTA's budget.
But perfect, because a game like this having GTA's budget means that the industry must expand and be more casual. That's how you get the
No,
investment.
No, this is
no,
not
you
a casual
don't.
game though.
That's not
No,
how it
no, no, no,
works.
no. Let me be clear. We're saying GTA's budget is 1 billion, you are not going to get core gamers to invest. Sorry, there's not enough core gamers for a budget of 1 billion for a game about selling drugs. It's impossible.
So, well,
There
I
You
is.
mean,
It's
have to.
300,000. Dude, it's 300,000 people playing it. Playing it. Not bought it. Playing it right now.
You
And this is a $20 game. If this was $60, oh my God. So, yes, there's a budget. There's a
so
budget.
you think 1 billion can justify a game with 300,000 people?
no, 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 no.
Concurrent.
But I think
Concurrent.
I think we're
On
trying to
Steam
solve the wrong
alone,
problem.
because we're looking, we're comparing this to GTA. GTA is on all the platforms, and this game is specifically just on Steam, as far as I know. So yes, if it's doing 300K on Steam, it's doing mad numbers on Xbox. It's probably doing mad numbers on PlayStation as well. And with these graphics, it's probably killing it on on Nintendo as well. So
I
yes,
think
a $1 billion budget, this game could kick it, no problem. How
This
three
game will never
hundred
get a
thousand?
$1 billion
Hold on,
budget.
let's do some quick math. 300,000, right? 300,000 times 60. That's 1.8. Just off concurrent. Just off concurrent.
so. I think where
It's
I
1.8
disagree with.
billion. It's a lot of money.
So where I
It's a lot of
disagree with
money,
both of you.
Ty. Of course, of course.
So sorry, I was saying where I disagree with both of you. I think you're addressing the wrong problem here. First of all, you don't need a billion rands. Sorry, a billion US dollars to make
Billion
a
dollars.
game.
It's
So
1.8 million. Sorry, not billion.
so my thing is like you don't need to approach Rockstar and ask them for a billion to make a drug game that's going to be like GTA. And David Jaffe addressed this a while back. He said, "Stop with the games that cost 250 to 300 million. Make a game for 20 million." This game didn't even cost close to that. But imagine if this game had cost like 20 million to make. And that's what I think the future of gaming is, where you get the balance right. Is you need smaller creatives within the industry saying, you don't have to give us the whole studio. We just want, give us 10 million and we'll make something for you. Proof of concept, something small for Steam. And if it takes off, then we will make it bigger, whatever the situation is. That to me is the future. And that's where we need to focus on. Not every
But
game. In fact,
remember
yeah,
the PlayStation exec. Well, I'm forgetting his name. The Japanese dude. Remember a couple of weeks or days ago,
Yoshida.
he did his last interview and he was like, "We shut down Japan studio specifically because Sony was like they don't want to do exactly that." Cautious.
because it was
Like
not
the
profitable
industries,
for them, most
they
probably.
they're eating. No, they're eating themselves. It wasn't enough because it's not enough to make profit. You know what I mean? It's not enough to make some money. You need to make all the money in the world. You need to make GTA money. You need to
But you,
always make you need to always make Ghost of Tsushima money. You need to always make The Last of Us Part 1 money.
but like that makes no sense to
Otherwise
make the
it's not what
margins.
that's how they're thinking.
But the
Oh shit.
margins, because like how profit and loss works is very straightforward. If your game costs 1 billion, right? And you take two shareholders, you say, okay, yeah, this game cost us 1 billion, but we're only able to make you 10 million profits. Out of that billion that we spent, only 10 million was actual profits. The rest just went into growing the brand and selling more. But because of the overheads were so much that we had so much things to pay for that we ended up making almost no profit. Now, if we have a small game that say maybe costs 15 to 20 million, like for instance the situations with games like your Fortnite, which are like once off that make revolving money. If your game costs about 20 million or 25 million to make and makes you 50 to
You
100 million
started at
profit,
10, bro.
but that's not really the point. The point is,
Okay.
if the margin is small enough, right? If your game, it could
No, if
cost
the
10 million.
margin is large enough, the
Yes,
margin has to be large. Yeah.
if your game costs 10 to 15 million and it makes you 50 to 100 million to 200 million, like to me that is like, as a shareholder, you say, oh, okay, this cost me almost nothing and I made over 110% back from my return, like in my from my return from my investment. That is how business works. This thing of spending 350 million just to make 50 million, I don't understand. Like, who's signing off these budgets to do this? Because this is
But
bad business.
that's where the industry is going, dude. We heard it from the horse's mouth. Japan Studio was making money, it just wasn't making crazy shitloads of money, and they were like, "All right, that's enough. We're tired of making chump change. We want to make real money."
But all of it goes to overheads and costs, and then you are again sitting with studios that are not profitable. Then you now have to fire, instead of like 5 to 10 guys that had this great idea, or 20 guys, now you have to fire 250 to 1,000 to 20,000 people, depending on the size of your studio.
So you don't need a video game crash. They're doing it themselves. You know what? Just let them keep driving this car. The mid-sized guys will keep on making games like
Yeah.
Remnant, which will keep making money. The small guys will keep making games like this, which will keep making money. And then they can keep making games that cost 300 million. And then we'll see what happens. Matt says, but that isn't how this small studio is thinking. That's how Take Two, EA, Microsoft, PlayStation, Ubisoft think. Most developers are not tied to these publishers. So again, just reinforcing that we will be fine, guys. As soon as these guys that don't know how to scope leave, we'll be fine. Only Ty is gonna be fucked. Ty is
Well,
gonna be in
well, I mean,
trouble.
like, listen, I did look at Matt here, and I told the guy to to help me out a little bit. And they said that like
Okay.
if you said that if your game costs 1 billion and 30% cuts is given to Steam or whatever it is, in order for you
Yeah.
to recoup that 1 billion, not even profit, you need to sell 19
Okay.
million copies. I don't know if that's correct. I need to look at that math again. But
90.
Jeez.
19 million copies if a game costs one
19
That's
billion to
million.
make.
insane, bro.
Fuck. All right. He's probably not going to sell 90. I don't think he's going to
Yeah,
sell
but
90.
listen, it's
No, no.
19 million copies at $70, not 20 or
Jesus.
15 I said it. So when you
Not
say
$20.
so when you say,
No,
well, I
but
want this guy to get 1 billion, it's like, no, you need shareholders and you need a game like GTA to do that. No one's gonna give this guy 1 billion to make this kind of game.
But he
all right,
doesn't need
fine.
1 billion though.
Fine.
Yeah,
He
no,
doesn't.
no,
He shouldn't
I
do
get
it.
it. But
All right.
what I'm saying is that if you still want your Baldur's Gate 3, and if you still
Yeah.
want, because you have to understand, Baldur's Gate 3 was a crazy investment. The CRPG games don't get those budgets.
It
somebody
was
had to say
400 million, if I'm not mistaken.
no, no, no. It
Somewhere
was less,
around there.
but somebody had to
Yeah, it's
say
like 200
this is a
million.
crazy risk, but I'm gonna give you money for 7 years to make this product. And you know who had to step in?
Yeah.
Tencent had to step in to help them as well. So like a lot of these games that you enjoy, it's all shareholders. I mean, we spoke about this. It's all shareholders. You don't get these games without shareholders. I,
Yes, Sapo.
I
So,
will tell you
sorry.
what you get. You get indie
What?
games like this. If a
Uh-huh.
crash happens, like you probably want it to happen, then enjoy
Yeah.
playing these kind of crappy. I mean, I don't want to insult the guy, but like enjoy playing these kind of games. But I want the Baldur's Gate. I want GTA. I want Assassin's Creed. I want Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I want Monster Hunter. I don't know why we like keep talking as if like, oh, do we need
I'll
a
be
crash?
fine.
Why would we need a crash?
No, because you I don't know. For me, I feel like you're pointing out the like the creme de la creme of AAA, and there's a lot of slop in AAA. And for me, I would rather have a situation that's reversed where we still have AAA, but it's like 5% of the games that come out. Let
But
the
why
slop
do we want
be
less?
stuff like this. We'll let the slop be stuff like this because if there's more slop that's AAA, there's more chance of people wasting their money.
No, there isn't. People don't buy shitty games. Shitty games don't sell. Gollum doesn't sell. Not Gollum, sorry.
I don't
What's the
think Golem was
Concord?
AAA. Come on.
Concord didn't
How
sell.
much?
Like no, but what I'm saying is like bad games don't sell. And if a bad game is selling, it's probably not bad, and it probably has an audience or it probably has a unique selling point that people like. Like bad games don't sell.
I don't know. People by consensus said
What game is bad that has sold well?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
That's not people
You
enjoy
can
Call
look
of
it
Duty.
up.
I have friends who enjoy Call of Duty. I don't like Call of Duty, but that doesn't
Did
mean
you
it's a
just
bad
look it up,
game.
Oshis? What the fuck?
No, you can look it up. Like the meta score is crap, the user score is crap. The game has got like less than
I mean,
40.
you asked the question, Tai, and
Okay,
for the first time in the show, Oshis did not run away from a question.
okay, but people enjoy the multiplayer, right?
Oh yeah, dude, Last of Us Two also exists.
That's not a bad game. You
I
just don't
think
like
it's a bad game.
So,
you don't like
like,
the
let me just give
story. You don't
you
like the story.
let me just give you
I
like
think it's a
the
bad game.
report card. Let me just give you the report card for Modern Warfare 3. The
The
game
movie.
over like in terms of meta score, it scored 56%.
Hmm.
That's like the lowest for a Call of Duty game in the last 10 years, most probably.
Hmm.
The user score is 2.2%.
Hmm.
So universally, this was considered a bad game.
This is Call of Duty 3.
This is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Okay, what
Hey,
did
Big Mad Mo, welcome in, brother. Welcome in. How you
hey,
doing?
welcome in. And what did the sequel do?
Huh?
What did the next Call of Duty game do?
In
You're
terms of
moving
what
the
ratings?
goalpost.
Because listen, like you can make you can
Moving the
own
goalpost.
Marvel, right? And you can make a bad Spider-Man movie, and it could do well from the brand name, but it hurts the image. Like the market works itself out. Bad
Yes,
games
you're
can
absolutely right.
sell well
But like,
enough, but then the sequel gets damaged going forward. It's the reason why Marvel is doing so shit right now. We don't need Marvel to get destroyed. The market will sort itself out. I don't see Marvel movies anymore. I'm sure you guys don't because you don't care because you don't trust the brand anymore. Now, when they bring out a good
Guys,
product, then you go up.
sidebar, quick sidebar. I went to see Captain America. I
it was
if there was
garbage,
a
huh?
service, to pay to get your time back, Jesus, bro, I'd be slamming.
Yeah.
I'd be paying. I would pay, right? Whatever I paid to watch the movie, I would pay double to get my time back. What a
Mm.
terrible experience! Like it wasn't the worst movie in the world, but
It
it
felt
was
like a
just
TV movie.
it was so. Dude, you can't even make me hate you. You're just so boring. At least if it was horrible, there'd be something to, latch on to and give me something. That movie gave me nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Ty. Sorry to cut you off. When you brought up Marvel, fuck, bro. I'm sorry. Carry on, Ty. Carry
No,
on.
listen,
My bad.
I'm just saying like there's no need for some kind of reset. There's nothing. Like we have many good games
But
coming out and you just keep it that way. And the games that are bad, no one has to buy them. I don't know who bought Concord. I don't know who bought Dustborn. I don't know these things. If Dustborn is selling like 20
I
million
bought
copies,
Dustborn, you prick.
so,
Are you
so the
trying to
so so
call me
you're
out right
so
now?
you're the problem then. You're buying
Screw
bad
you.
games.
It was for content. It was for freaking
Okay,
content. And yes,
okay, so,
yes,
so
Big
you're
Mad
so
Mo,
so so
solo
for con
leveling is the shit, bro. I don't know what we're gonna do, Big Mad Mo. I don't know what we're gonna do until 2027. I don't know. Sorry, 2026. I don't know what we're gonna do, but it's gonna be rough. Sorry, Ty. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue
I
putting me on
mean,
the spot.
but again, like there's only a couple of games that's been in my even circle this year, and that's literally Split Gate,
Split fiction.
sorry, Split Fiction, Assassin's Creed, and Monster Hunter, and Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm sure there's a shit like we know right now that Steam has released thousands of games from many
Thousands
different
of shit
from
games.
yeah, thousands of shit games over the last couple of months. Why aren't we saying the PC market needs to
Couple of
be
weeks.
over a couple of weeks? Why aren't we saying the PC market needs to be reset?
Because these games don't get shoved in my face, I guess.
No, 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 no. None of these games get shoved. The games get shoved in your face because you're
But they
online
don't.
and you're in the ecosystem. You are part of the podcast space, so you know everything that's going on, and you should because you have a podcast show. Like, of course. Again, I'm telling you right now, like none of my
Fuck.
casual friends who don't want the industry to crash, none of them know about these games. None of them know about these shows. Like I'm telling my friends, yo, you go and check out Captain America. I was like, oh, I thought Marvel was done. Okay, yeah, I'll go watch it. Like they don't know these things. Do you guys know about the trailer that Marvel released with all the with all the
Yeah, the
actors?
chairs.
The
The
chairs.
chairs.
How come I know this, you know this, Ushers knows this, but all my friends who watched the previous, phase 3 and 2, they know nothing.
Because they're not real fans, right? They're
So
casuals.
so the industry should crash because the hardcore us don't like the
Yes.
fact that
Yes.
some people make bad
Yes.
games.
We are the foundation of whatever industry you want to talk about, whether it's football, whether it's movies, whether it's video games. If you remove us, you are standing on very shaky ground. You have
Another
almost
example.
nothing in the long term if you don't have the fans.
So going back to what Tai said about like Modern Warfare 3, like his whole notion that if a game is terrible, it won't sell very well. I mean,
Mm.
this is not applicable to franchises. Like most franchises, going again to his Marvel point, is that it takes a couple of iterations for people to completely distrust your brand. Like for instance, if you look at Black Ops 6, scored far better. It scored 82% and it mildly, yeah, the user score was even higher. It was 6.5 instead of 2.2. So, but again, if you're talking about individual releases, I can go through an entire, bunch of games where you've had an iteration that is terrible, and as a result, it still sold very well. Assassin's Creed is another, I think, infamous example of this, along with many Ubisoft games that normally score between 65 and maybe 75%, like Rainbow Six when they came out, but they go on to become $1 billion generators.
The Assassin's
Um,
Creed franchise took a major hit and sales got damaged so much that they had to pivot towards RPG in Origins because the last two games before Origins were seen as crap.
yes, because they were technically bad.
Yeah, yeah, but like this, but as I'm saying, there's consequences, and the market adjusts itself every
Yeah,
single time.
but what I'm saying to you is that Unity still sold very well. Syndicate still sold exceptionally well. It didn't hurt the sales. And I can give you another
How
example.
much did Unity sell?
I'm not sure, but I know it sold well. Like it did not. It was not a failure. It was not a commercial
Did it meet
failure.
Ubisoft's expectations?
I don't
All
know.
right,
I can't
all right.
comment on
We
that.
we've
Okay, fair enough.
gone we've gone far enough down this alley. What I
Yeah,
will tell you, gentlemen, like watching this gameplay, I'm thinking about buying this game. God damn it!
it's only
Listen to
Like
your
I
homie
saw
Matt like games is speaking facts.
what's he saying? Matt says no, we are not. It's casuals. Casuals are literally the foundation of games industry. Hell, same with the no, no. No. Okay, so let me explain why casuals are not the foundation of the game industry. And I
Revenge
will
speaking facts as
use,
well.
right. I will use the game on screen as an example. When this thing came out, no one knew about it. The casuals were not aware of this game. One one hardcore gamer played it, gave it a good review, and then another one and another one, and then eventually someone recommended it to a streamer. Said streamer made it go viral, and then guess what happened? The casuals rolled in. So again, we are the foundation. If you remove us, casuals will play fucking Fortnite, and that'll be it. But as soon as we come up with something that's trending and we say this is popping, guess what happens? That thing actually pops with the casuals as well. Remove us and the casuals, there's no real significance. Let's use Marvel again. Marvel has existed for a very, very, very long time. The movies ain't popping. The movies, don't let anyone lie to you. Iron Man was not the first Marvel movie. Marvel's been making movies for decades before Iron Man came out. It was it was us, the fans, the few of us that kept going to those movies. We didn't give them all the money in the world, but you know what? We gave them just enough for them to be like, you know what? Let's make another Batman TV show. Let's make another Spider-Man movie. Like we're not selling to everyone. Not everyone's buying this. But you know what? We're getting close. Things are working out. We gave them enough rope to make Blade, and the shit popped off. And then the casuals fell in love with Blade. And then Iron Man came in. Without the foundation, you don't get Iron Man, you don't get Blade. These companies walk away from the franchise. Marvel has no real value without the hardcore fans for them to even invest. So no, Matt, you still need the core fans to even get the engine started. Anyways, uh, Ty, from what you've seen here with the basketball on screen, are you interested? Are you more interested
Wait,
in buying
I
this
thought we were
game?
selling drugs. What's going on? Why is it been
Hey,
basketball?
you need to pass the time some way, right? You can't just be fucking
Listen, I love this. Like the more I see of the game, the more I'm more
right.
I'm more impressed with his efforts, creativity. Clearly, it was a passion
Yeah,
project, and even like a game like Balatro as well. So yeah, I think I won't buy it. I won't spend my time on this, but I would love to even show support in some kind of
he's
way.
trying to figure out the shot. Even sorry. So you wouldn't do this, Ty.
Nah,
You wouldn't
I
even give
wouldn't.
it a go.
Not,
If
not
I
my kind of
sent you
game.
a code, would you at least install it?
No, I would
And
not.
you wouldn't even try it for
No way.
free.
No,
God
time is
damn.
too precious. I don't got time to play these kind of games.
So
Jeez.
Ty,
Hmm.
I see you quoted like, and again, Black Flag is like one of the best-selling Assassin's Creed at 15 million.
Hmm.
Origins sold around 10 million, which is similar to Unity. So again,
Yeah, but the difference is like because
yeah,
remember Unity was the one that had the buggy
100%.
release, yeah. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when the Unity release, Unity came out in 2014, and then the
Mm-hmm.
sequel and then Black Flag came out. So sorry, Black Flag came out in 2013 and sold 15
Yeah.
million units. The Unity came out in 2014, a year later, and sold 10 million units. So it sold 5
Mm-hmm.
million less than the one that did what everyone likes.
Yeah, but then what I'm saying to you, then Origins did what everybody likes and only did 10 million.
No, Origins was a remake. Like not a remake, it was a
Hmm?
revamp of the system. So it was an
Yes,
RPG. So
exactly.
some fans like it, some
So
fans didn't. But keep in mind,
yeah.
Origins then was able to maybe justify its budget because Origins became more of a live servicey kind of game where you could now buy you could buy clothes and all this kind of shit. It's like even Valhalla. Valhalla probably didn't sell the best, but the reason why it's Ubisoft's most valuable Assassin's Creed game is because that storefront was there. all these
I,
DLCs were there. You know,
I think Valhalla is the best selling Assassin's Creed.
I don't know if they ever confirmed it. I mean, they said players, so I don't know if they ever confirmed it's the best selling. But I wouldn't be, because remember, Assassin's Creed 2 sold 15 million copies.
15 or 50.
It sold 12 to 15 million copies. Sorry, Assassin's
Oh,
Creed 3 sold 15 million. So Assassin's Creed, the big Assassin's Creed games generally do 15 million copies. And I think, yeah, maybe Valhalla did do 15 million copies, right? But if you take away COVID, maybe actually did less. But as soon as you put it on the Ubisoft storefronts and all these different places, actually no, I take that back. So yeah, Valhalla probably did sell better than all these other games. But from a revenue perspective, they probably got a whole lot more just because they had the shop.
that's true. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, but my main point here really is just that good games would generally always do well, and bad games would. I mean, it might take a couple of bad games if it's if it's a franchise, but they'll get hurt. There's a reason why Battlefield did terrible for EA because the fans were like, "What the hell is this? What's this superhero super class nonsense?" And as a result, they've pivoted back to their old style. So Halo Infinite, it wasn't well received. The studio got like more or less shut down. Redfall was crap, shut down. Hi-Fi Rush, they didn't make the money, shut down. So it's like we make it seem like these crappy games we're all forced to buy, and we all buy them because we like to paint ourselves as victims. Uh, Which
Oh my god.
I'll say this, yeah, to local ushers: when was the last game you bought that was
Okay.
bad? That was terrible.
Um, I don't buy bad games, so I didn't buy games
That's my
like
point.
Veilguard.
But
Well,
we just got done talking about we're not the majority of gamers. Come on.
yeah, like I barely ever buy bad
A
games
lot
because
of
I've read
people
all the
buy bad
reviews.
games, man.
Most people are uninformed. The masses are not informed. They don't know what the difference is between a good game or a bad game. They just go according to whether the marketing resonated with them and
Do you think
what
if a
their friends told
casual
them.
bought this game right here, that they'll like it?
I
Do you think a
Which
have no
game? This
idea.
casual,
one.
you think a casual play Veilguard and then play this game and say, yeah, this game is the shit right here?
Well, I mean, if you look at like how many people play Roblox, I would say definitely there's a lot of casuals that are into this type of thing.
I mean,
Ah
like,
man, you and your freaking Roblox and your
And
Minecraft. Get
Minecraft, I
out of
mean, those
here.
Minecraft is the best-selling game of all time.
Oh god. All right. Whatever.
yeah,
Whatever.
fair enough. Fair enough.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of yet another Everything Plus Gaming podcast. This was fun.
Mm.
This was very very fun. Reezy says this looks like prison basketball. Who bought AC Shadows for 500? Yeah, I don't know, dog. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, Ty, please plug your channel. Tell people where they can find you, etc., etc.
Same as always, Tire Talks, TAYETALKS. That's on Twitter and on YouTube.
All
I
right.
actually I don't really have
What?
anything
Watch
to
this.
plug. I just wanted to ask Taya something. I sent you a message. I don't think you got this. I asked you where do you post all the other videos that we like all the political stuff and stuff like that. They like where's that stuff hosted?
The second channel, I threw them there. I think I sent you a link before, right?
Is
And you
it?
guys never invite me when you guys are discussing these hot topics. You're always just in your echo
I
chambers.
literally invited you like last week.
No,
You
you did
probably did.
not.
I sent you a link.
Wait, is that the one where I replied and saying, what's this for?"
Yeah, I was like,
Ah, but I come on,
I
bro.
sent you
You
a
need
link.
to tell me beforehand. I do, dude. All right. Listen,
But you
listen.
see, it wasn't planned
Obviously,
though. It wasn't planned. That was the
obviously.
thing. So as soon
And
as it
All
happened,
right.
I just
So,
sent the link out.
did you have
so,
4 hours, Luke? Because that's how
what you
long we
mean?
went. Like we went for like four
What time do
hours.
you guys start? What time do you guys
Dude, I don't
start?
even
I was
remember,
late.
bro. But like
All
I
right.
remember it
Point
was 4
is,
o'clock when we finished. I was like, fuck.
4
My whole
a.m.
Like
4 a.m.
around 12 a.m.
Oh, it was 12 a.m., not 4 a.m.
No, we started around 12 a.m. We
And
finished
you
the
finished at
conversation
4.
at around 4.
All right. Okay. So I don't, right? I'm not a phone guy, right? I
Mm.
purposefully put my phone on silent. Like as soon as it hits Friday 6 p.m., my phone's on silent and I do not carry it around with me. That's why a lot of people can post stuff to me on Friday, and then I'll like reply on Monday, maybe even Tuesday if it's Twitter. My WhatsApp is also another tragedy. I'm not on it all the time. Just call me, bruv. You guys have my numbers. Don't be pricks. Reezy says they don't invite Lok because he's a bully. Screw you. And I'm not a fucking
that
bully. I'm just
that
trying to keep us below 2 hours. Fuck out of here, Oshis. That's true. This guy.
uh,
Speaking of falsehoods, Oshis, please plug your channel and tell people where they can find you.
currently I'm mostly active on X and on Facebook. Not really much anything on my YouTube. It's all it's either Oz the Wiz or Osha7. AUSSIOUS07. But thank you guys. I really appreciate this platform. And yeah, just having to pick other people's brain that care about gaming and the awesome chat.
All right. Chat, once again, y'all are the real MVPs. Thank you so much for watching our stream. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for helping to move the discussion and even come up with suggestions in the chat. We really do appreciate this. Make sure you like the video on your way out. Share it out to people so they can come and subscribe, and hopefully we'll all be here together tomorrow for the lowdown with me and Mr. Ham solo. Ham's coming back tomorrow. That'll be fun. That'll be awesome. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. We shall see you tomorrow for the lowdown. Goodbye.